the go live button. And
No way. You would actually do that?
yes, and Space, I need you to confirm, unlike the previous night, that my microphone is being heard, because it looks like it is, but it says there's no signal and
Also,
being unread.
can you hear me okay when I'm standing from this far away?
Yes. But Space, please
Perfect.
feel free to confirm.
Yes, space.
I need you to
Give us
confirm.
the YouTube audio confirmation.
I mean,
Not
I
the
just confirmed it
Discord.
myself, so I think it's good. Yeah, says
Please
Darshigage.
do it.
I'll take it. Darshigage! Yo! Okay, you guys sound good. Thank you. And all is well in the world. You can hear both of you on YouTube. And Darshigage, do we both sound equally volumized? I'm
Yeah,
assuming so.
give us the real answer.
Yeah, I mean, I could just, double check by, looking at where the bars go, if they're going to yellow or the red on, the
No, honestly, I personally
or even.
don't trust that because a part of this is just my
Yeah.
personal voice. But I have found in many cases, like I'm a good example, I can be like in the yellow where someone's in the red and will sound similarly loud. Just something about the frequency of my voice or something. It just is
Yeah.
loud, no matter the volume.
It
So
should
I don't.
be
It's a
other
good gauge,
factors.
but it doesn't make it perfect for you.
I agree. It's other factors of the dampening of the wetness or the dryness, and then the volume of the frequency and the peaks and you get the idea. It's all
There's
the
just too
mumbo
many
jumbo.
factors and how loud it sounds that it's not going to be perfect. So the best thing to do is to just listen. Yeah, say, all right, he sounds louder.
Yeah. Okay. So the first topic I wanted to go over, which I was saying before stream just a second ago. So Kamui, at 8:10, you posted something interesting. Nah, bruh. Indra does not have the Sharingan laughing face emoji. He has some sort of Rinnegan Sharingan hybrid thing, lol. And then you posted the screenshot of Indra's manga eye design.
Yeah, well, it was the original one.
Yeah.
From the Five Kage Summit. But then, if you look right below it, I found the lore. That was also very interesting in a completely different way. So that one,
Okay.
I'll let you read what it says, I
Sure.
guess.
And what is this? The base Sharingan doesn't have a circle connecting the Tomoe like that, but it's so a 3 Tomoe Sharingan and not Mangekyo looking. It's also not that small Rinnegan Sharingan thing either. What is a Sharingan?
You're like, what is it? Like, I mean, because so obviously you look like Madara's Mangekyo. It has like the circle, for example, but it doesn't just have the Tomoe. Like, it's completely new. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the Tomoe, but there's no circle. So, like, what? This looks like it'd be like a partial Rinnegan Tomoe, whereas the other one is just like a Rinnegan. What this Mangekyo is.
I
Or
mean,
Sharingan. Like, what is this? It's not a Sharingan. It's not.
I mean, maybe
It's not a
it's
Rinnegan either.
just me, but I feel like the line or whatever connecting the 3 Tomoes is just sometimes there. More or less.
I mean, if you can just find a single example of that, especially in manga, then I will just go with that and say, okay, he's just showing his 3 Tomboy for the panel. But you have to find just one example of that. If as long as you do that, then you'll be able to give it to you.
I
But
mean,
if you can't, after like 20 minutes, I'm going to say, all right, what's going on here?
I mean, where is that
'Cause-
fair? At the very least, even if it's not line, they have like the I don't know how to describe it. The opposite-sided line things that go on the eye that are just there anyways.
What are you talking about?
So
Like
you're not going to be able to
the
see my screen, are you?
iris, like the white versus blue part of an eye, but in this case it's red. Did you talk about that?
No. So where the line would be, Okay, actually, I did find a pretty good example. But where the line would be, they would just have like the not vertical lines because it's going in a circle, but instead of it being like an orbit, it's like facing the dot in the middle, and it goes all the way around. That's not a. There's no way for me to describe this. I've tried.
Well, just take a picture and I can look on my phone. If you
Okay.
post it.
Sure, I'll post it in general chat. Just one random example. Nothing stands out about this one being overly a lot or a little.
Yeah, I just need to see like what you're trying to explain.
This one, the lines are less long. It's more of dots than lines, but a lot of them have like lines that are like long. If that makes sense.
Okay. Let me just compare. Here.
Like it's obviously it's not a line, it's not a circle, it's like multiple lines. But...
So well, let's just look for that manga panel. It would be like chapter 244 or something. It's the Obito flashback. Just see what it looks like in the manga version. See if it's dotted lines, not there at all.
Right. So I mean, well, here's an example. I do think this is also the straight lines. That rather than like the circular line, it's not how what a line works. But for Sasuke's on the right here, it's at least a lot more prominent.
Just real quick, because you're having a lot of trouble here. You do realize you can just say dashed or solid for the line, right? That would be the normal way to describe this.
Listen, don't reprimand me, okay? I don't need your bullying.
The easiest way ever. Not doing it.
Whatever. Well, thankfully, Naruto's here to tell us all about it. Right, Naruto.
Alright.
Hello. And Archduke, I know you said you wanted to maybe join. If you want to, go for it. If not, it's fine. So, Naruto, do you know of any examples where... where the Sharingan has a line around it?
I don't really think so.
Oh, Kamui, I got one that's indisputable, but you're going to hate me for posting it.
What we needed. I found what we needed anyway. I just looked myself. Okay.
I just posted an anime one in chat, and you're going to hate me for posting it. But it is.
Oh, okay, that's funny.
Yeah, it is.
So I posted an actual one. This one of Obito from the manga is just doing the same thing as Indra. So,
there you go.
What that tells us, because obviously the Sharingan's design was canon by the time we first see Indra, that tells us that the Rinnegan one must be his Mangekyo. If we're going to take both designs and say there's no weird random retcon for no reason, his Mangekyo design is the Rinnegan one, and his Sharingan's just the Sharingan.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair...
If that's the case, that could be the explanation for Indra potentially not going blind, even though we don't actually know if he ever went blind or not, because I don't know why it assumes he didn't, we don't know. But if he didn't, there you go. Turn him into Rinnegan.
To be fair, I was rewatching Naruto versus Neji the other day, and in one of the close-ups of Neji, his whole eye was just really, really white. Like all of it. You know, instead of like the purple hue-ish thing they had, it was just white the whole way through.
To be fair, it's technically supposed to be white. So.
I mean, you're not wrong. But I thought it was
that's just
funny.
Like the one time it's right.
Yes. But also, to be fair, I'll just post this. I can't find what I'm looking for. In terms of what I was just talking about. But I'll post this in general chat as well. The Byakugan just also has the dashing me as well. So
well, the Byakugan's always been kind of inconsistent with having extra details and so on. So, and also there's no like Indra among the Hyuga clan that we need to like specifically point out to for having a different, like so on. It's just, Byakugan's just inconsistent. It's the Byakugan and so on. Like
yeah. So, I don't know what's up with Indra's design, but you want to know what's funny about you posting that, and the reason that I wanted to start with it?
Okay.
So, Kamui, do you remember on April 3rd when I posted the same thing?
No, you probably never got to it.
Well, let's get to it. So Kamui, Indra's MS? Question mark.
Well, I'm glad we're on the same page.
Literally.
Completely coincidentally,
Kamui,
that amplifies the meaning of this. It means we're right if we both separately came to this conclusion.
Well, it's beyond just being on the same page, Kamui, because I didn't find this from the manga. I found this from the same exact Daigo video. So we took a screenshot of like the exact same second of that same video, coincidentally of one another, for the same reason.
And like, I was just late to get into the video, but that's so funny because I didn't even know you necessarily. I mean, not surprised you watched the video, as you're probably not surprised I did either.
Yeah, I don't watch all the videos.
We didn't know the other one watched the video. We weren't told to watch the video. That's funny. That is as coincidentally perfect as it can get. I'm glad it happened that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess since we're on old Naruto topics, so you just want to start from like April topics of Naruto.
We could.
Unless Rudo had something to say.
I mean, I assume he's got a lot to argue with us about.
So, Rudo.
Can you pull up the Eren video?
The what now?
And react to it.
The Eren?
The Eren video.
Oh, the one from the other day?
Yeah.
Okay. I have to find it. Also, it
live
doesn't...
stream it.
Yeah, well, we are live streaming her right now.
Alright.
Okay. So, we probably should wait until Kamui can see, but it's right here.
What are we doing?
We're going to react to that Naruto Eren video that you already watched, but I didn't.
But then I don't need to see it. I've already...
Okay, we'll do it later. I'll do it when Kamui leaves after stream, or on stream.
That's a good idea. Yeah, just wait till after, because I've already seen it. I've already read the comments on it. Like,
okay, we'll do it later. So,
who do you think Oppa's right?
Well,
I think they're both right and both wrong.
I mean, you know my stance on Eren being right or not, considering everything we've talked about there, including earlier today.
I guess Oodie's gonna pick Eren because he thinks Naruto's wrong and he thinks Eren's right in general. So it doesn't even matter what they say.
So, okay. I have a fun topic we can do. So, I wanted to do this with the Boruto trio, and Rudo is one of those members, so it counts. So, and Archduke, feel free to chime in on this. So, I wanted to, off the top of our head, think about... Okay. So, Kamui, we're pretty known for doing something in regards to Boruto. What would that be?
You mean praise it?
well, in terms of the Two Blue Vortex manga, I feel like...
Two Blue Vortex, the sequel to Boruto. Oh, okay,
yeah.
That's what you're referring to.
Exactly. You're only proving my point right now.
I did that intentionally. I knew exactly what I was doing when I did that.
I know. So, with that in mind, I wanted to prove that we can do this for Naruto too, that we can critique it. Wow. Okay. So, Kamui, off the top of our head, I wanted to go through every Naruto arc and list our biggest narrative complaint of the arc. So it can't be a power scaling inconsistency, mumbo jumbo, oh, I wish they would have rewrote it for this or whatever. And it can't be like a random grievance, like, I don't know, especially an anime thing, like, oh, Neji's eyes is purple. That's not my critique of the tuning. It has to be a writing thing.
Just because I'm going to get it out of the way, I'm assuming you're going to say no to any Dosu.
So it would. Again, it can't be wasted potential. Well, I guess it could be wasted potential, but I also want it to be fair. I want it to be something that we've not talked about a lot before, or have never said, and maybe nobody else has ever said either, because otherwise it's just a cliche. It's
Well,
just
if
like,
we've never said it, that means we already know it.
Yeah, and we are friends with the Naruto series, so it makes sense that we would say what we've never said. So,
Okay.
with that in mind, I guess I could
Well,
start.
the funniest thing is, I'm not gonna lie, I think the Land of Waves is gonna be the hardest one to pick.
Yeah,
a
exactly,
narrative
exactly. Because I was going. Okay, so here's the
already
difference.
just drawing a blank.
Here's the problem with this, right? Okay, well, also this also sort of proves the Boruto trio's point that we might just overly hate Boruto. but this is to prove.
We can't come up with.
No, we
Well, the
can
problem
do
is-
this. We can.
We can do it, but the problem is, a lot of the Naruto ones, especially early on, aren't major narrative problems.
I know,
They're
I
small
know.
things. So we can come up with ways to elevate the series every step of the way. But what's that narrative problem with the Land of Waves? The best thing I was going to get
Exactly.
to was maybe this is a narrative problem. But if Naruto's going to use the QBIs against Mizuki, he uses the One Tails against Haku, especially since that's how he fights. Is like the
So-
One Tails mode. But that's
Yeah.
not a narrative problem because he's using the Nine Tails against Haku anyway.
Yeah. So okay, really quick on that, since you just brought it up. So first of all, can you see my screen now?
No.
Okay, that's
I'm
fine.
not going to be able to see your screen for. Let's be honest. I in like
Just,
10 minutes, I can
not
see
at
it
all.
for a minute before I got to go away again.
Okay, I'll assume just not at all during the stream. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to see your screen during the stream.
Okay. Well, I don't know where I posted this, but did you know that actually? Oh my god! Actually, I do think it is up here. It's just I posted a lot of stuff. Did you know that Naruto in the manga, he did use the Kyuubi against Mizuki? The anime just changed it. Like it's not just the colors of fan colors or whatever. Naruto has not just the red eyes and stuff. He has like the claws. His fingernails are elongated and stuff when he summons the shadow clones.
What?
Right? That's what I said. No, I was watching a Thunder God video. I was like, bro, there's no way. Okay, I don't know what this is. So
Take a screenshot of everything important and put it in chat.
Yeah, I just have to find it.
Because I don't.
I
He does
know.
not have the QBIs, right?
So unless Thunder God was trolling and used a completely just fan art image and called it canon and explained it as such, then I don't know, but it's just ridiculous.
That's what I'm wondering.
I mean, we could just go double check. I'm gonna go check.
You just don't look at chapter 1.
Yeah.
Do it in the not color. Just do it in a regular black and white.
Okay. One.
And then we just gotta see that you have
What
box
is-
slits and nails.
I know. Okay. We also do the thing just in case we get a a certain type of ad. So we'll just be careful with that and not show my
if you use
screen for a
this, you don't have
second.
to worry about that. I think for this one moment we
Oh
can use
yeah.
this.
Okay. Naruto Viz Chapter 1.
Yeah, so we
Good
can see chapter
point.
1 for free.
See, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say the certain type of ad or not. I'm just like, because you could probably hear the B coming out of my mouth.
I know how you could say the type of ad without getting demonetized. You have a guess of what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
There's really two answers you could give, but one's the better answer.
So one of them could be in reference to Cam. The other one,
Okay, that's right. And then what's the better one? You have to know at this point.
the Kid Konohamaru meme or something.
No, oh, Oodie, it's Mellow, the Mellow ad.
Oh, of course,
Of course. Of course, Mellow was first and then Cam Cam second.
right.
I'm surprised you got Cam Cam, not Mellow. After all the memes.
That's fair. So, okay, when he does the shadow clones, it's not... I'm trying to see if there is somewhere else where he would have it. I don't see where that
It
would
wasn't
be.
when he did the shadow clones, though.
Seemingly not. So I don't know where this is.
I've got a question.
Yes.
Okay.
Why did Naruto learn FTG? He could have learned it.
Well, there's several possible reasons. One is that if the jutsu is because we're specifically referring to like the Minato one, not the Boruto one. It could just because we don't know enough about the jutsu. It's seemingly complex. Now, obviously, Naruto has the chakra reserves to do it, but it might just be we don't know for sure. 'Cause we don't know about the jutsu. But the most sensible thing that I think would work for the story is this just too complex for Naruto. He's just not smart enough. Because Tobirama's really smart, Minato's really smart. Makes sense that they can do it. They're prodigies of being smart with jutsu. Now, obviously, Genma, Rhino, and Iwashi aren't necessarily known for being the smartest guys of all time, but they're like normal smart Jonin who were taught it. Naruto's neither taught it, nor is he smart, like that kind of smart. So he could just not be smart enough to do it. And then obviously
But
because his
isn't his
speed's so
battle
fast,
IQ very high though?
he has a specific type of high battle IQ, but even that wouldn't necessarily mean he can learn a complex jutsu like Flying Raijin. But the real
What's going
issue,
on,
in my
guys?
opinion, would be when he gets the Sage of Six Paths power up and he just understands all these chakra things and learns how to do all these new things that he doesn't understand. He can just do them instinctually, which would beg the question of, well, can he just learn Flying Raijin instinctually then? And he probably should be able to, considering he learns every single nature element that way, but, you know, I don't know.
They would have help against Jigen though.
What about, say that again?
They would have help against Jigen and Ishiki.
Well, it would be useful, but clearly he didn't have it. But what do you think?
I think I found it. Naruto used the QB against Mizuki. It's not during the shadow clones. It's right before he throws the demon wind shuriken and Aruka gets in the way. Naruto has like this rage burst chakra moment thing. So yeah.
Well, I know he has the no when Mizuki's telling him stuff, but I don't think he had QB eyes there.
So I'll post it in
The QB
chat.
eyes or just claws?
Here, I'm posting it in chat, and you can tell me what you think of that.
I won't be able to look for a second, so just describe what you think. Does he have fox slits or no?
I mean, I thought his eyes were open here. That's how I remember it. But his eyes are closed, so you really have to look at the fingernails. So the color of whatever version this is using the QB chakra. I'll just post all of it. And then the anime changes it to blue.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's all
that means
of
the
that.
other people thought it was Ninetales. Otherwise, they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
That's interesting that they each have like two different interpretations on that.
I mean, you know, his eyes are actually open there. I changed my mind. So was Naruto ever officially colored here? Okay, the eyes are red in this version as well. Oh, you know what? His teeth are... I think those are enough of like foxy teeth to not be his normal teeth. He's definitely gritting his teeth though. Yeah, I think his fingernails are elongated.
Are they sharp?
Yeah, they're kind of sharp. It's like a mid-transformation. It's weird. But no, I think his fingernails are a pretty clear giveaway, even in the non-colored. I think he is using QB here.
Okay, I will look in maybe 2-ish minutes.
It's crazy that you can't even like really tell, but you kind of can. Also, okay. Naruto is open-toed shoes all the time. Has Naruto ever once, ever, had his toenails grow sharp, longer, or anything when in the QB form?
I
Just the
want to
fingernails?
say yes, but I don't think they emphasize it any more than maybe the Haku one. They might emphasize it for Haku's fight, because they really emphasize. But that's
Yeah.
also the weird thing about this. Let's say his nails and stuff are growing. Wouldn't they emphasize it more the first time it happens as opposed to the second time? Where they really, especially in the anime, they're really showing it, like every step of the way.
Yes. That's so weird.
So, and then in the manga, it's like when they, let's just say anime just did it now. Okay, so that's why they do that. But in the manga, Kishimoto would know what he's trying to do. So like when he like emphasize it
Yeah.
and then not emphasize it the second time, or if he's gonna emphasize it the second time, he does it the same way both times. It's weird.
I don't know. What I do know is I think it's actually really cool that in the manga, Naruto uses the Nine Tails here. You could also say it's also cool if he used it during the Shadow Clones, but clearly that's not the case. But he's using it here. I think it's cool since Mizuki's calling him the Demon Fox, and Iruka's about to prove him wrong, but he hasn't done that yet. Also, if you want to go an extra layer.
I was gonna say, in that case, it's like Naruto, because the whole thing is if it wasn't for Iruka, he might have gone wild and gone rogue there.
Yeah.
So I think narratively that actually works really well if that is what they did to where he used it, and then Iruka, so he's not the Nine-Tailed Fox, he's Naruto Uzumaki, and then he uses Naruto Uzumaki power, which removes the coolness of Naruto versus Mizuki, but narratively that probably is the best way to do it.
I completely agree, yeah. I mean, also the fact that Naruto's like literally crying here. He's thinking of like being alone and that everyone hates him. And then Iruka's reaction doesn't make... It does make sense. It does make sense because Mizuki is preparing to throw the thing, but he's not throwing the thing yet. And Iruka's reaction panel is on the panel of Naruto freaking out, not on Iruka.
Wait, say that again?
In the manga and the anime, Iruka reacts, but in the anime, I feel like it's more implied that he's reacting to Mizuki, who's going to throw the Demon Wind Shuriken, which is why he gets in the way. Whereas in the manga, it feels, especially since he has like a whole 2 dialogue bubbles after that, before he jumps in the way, and then a flashback, it feels like it would make a lot more... It's not even on the same page, yeah. There's no way it's in response to Mizuki preparing to throw the Demon Wind Shuriken. It has to be in reference to Naruto. Which is cool.
Yeah, Naruto's teeth do look foxy, and also his whiskers do look like they got thicker.
A little bit, yeah. It's hard to tell. The fingernails... his thumb is really the one that gives it away.
On his right cheek there. Yeah, the fingers do look pointy. His teeth look a little bit pointy. He
the
has
thing
more
on
of
his
a
right
foxy face. It's all that chakra.
The thing on his right teeth is tears. Or right cheek, I should say, not teeth. Tears
No,
coming out of his
nothing's
head.
from his eye. There's like a rectangular looking, like it might be a band-aid. Does Naruto have a band-aid on his face or anything?
His right or our right?
All right. There's like on where one of the whiskers goes, it's like thick, and it's white in the black and white, and I think the color made it white too. Yeah, the color made it white, and that's not. I don't really know what's going on there.
I don't really see what you're seeing there. It just looks like the normal whiskers to me. Either way.
Well, anyway, yeah, it does kind of look like he's doing a little foxy there.
Yeah, and if you look at the other ones as well, the anime was doing it blue, and then the color, yeah.
And then Iruka's reaction is a sweat bead. Now, obviously, he could just be reacting to like Naruto reacting, but it would be really interesting if it was like to the Nine Tails that he's seeing from. Of course, he doesn't comment on it though.
Well, yeah, I agree, but narratively, it could be Naruto, but narratively, it'd be a lot more impactful if he's like reacting because of the Nine Tails.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
given like the whole episode 1 narrative around Iruka, Naruto, and Mizuki as it is. Iruka's
Yeah, I
backstory.
agree. That
This
does work
decision.
well.
Yeah. At the very least, it's my head canon, but I think it's canon. But one more
I
additional
would say
layer.
it's canon enough to just go with it because
Okay, it's at least
no way to prove
implied.
it.
Yeah,
And
I
it
think it's more implied
looks
than
like
anything
it could
else.
be the case, so it's really that is just up for interpretation. There
Yeah.
is no answer to it. So
I mean, there's a safe answer, and then there's this answer, which I think is the more likely answer than the safe answer, because it's the safe answer is technically there either way. But that's what I think is probably what he was going for. But okay, this is stupid. But an additional layer on top of this is Mizuki's calling him the Demon Fox, and he's going to attack him with the Demon Blade, the Demon Shuriken.
yeah, the demon wind shuriken.
Yeah, like I wonder if that's why
Demon
Kishimoto
Shuriken,
named it
but
that, or if that's just coincidence. Like that's a reach.
it's not
I'll
actually
admit
the demon wind shuriken, but it should have been. The demon wind shuriken should be Mizuki's blade there.
What's it called? The Big Shuriken?
Doesn't have a name. It was actually a Fuma shuriken. That's the name.
Okay, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Because there is a difference between this one and the one that Sasuke throws. I'll give you that one. Okay.
Would be cool if it was the demon wind shuriken though.
Yeah, and then it's the Fuma Shuriken that is used against Datara as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Where do those come from?
The Fuma clan?
No. I meant in the Datara fight. Did they summon them there? The
Oh
Shuriken?
yeah, I think he does.
Okay.
Because Sasuke was doing that at the time.
That's fair. Okay. Anyway, so back to the point of what we're supposed to be doing here. So okay, so so narrative complaints on each arc. Again, I want it to be narrative complaints instead of complaints that we've already expressed, or complaints that are complaints but aren't writing complaints that are holding the story back and making it worse, rather than something that isn't being done that's making it, could have made it better or whatever. So mine for the Land of Waves, I was thinking about this. Like, okay. To explain the Land of Waves, I agree. The Land of Waves is like practically perfect as a standalone arc. The difference between the Land of Waves and something like the Sasuke Retrieval Arc, because I do think the Sasuke Retrieval Arc is better, but I think the Sasuke Retrieval Arc is better, not as a standalone arc, obviously because of context, but it's better because of how it like fits into the story of Naruto as like an overarching arc, if that makes sense, rather than what it does on its own, because everything's been building to it. The Land of Waves, it's like every single line of dialogue is intentional, purposeful, and just written correctly. It all flows into one another, whereas there are just moments in the Sasuke Retrieval Arc where they're just like talking, and I don't want to call it like manga filler or anything, but it's like nothing there is needed.
The Sasuke Retrieval Arc has higher highs, so I would still say it's a better arc
that as
overall.
Well.
But it has more quote unquote flaws than the Land of Waves. The Land of Waves is arguably the least flawed arc. We've discussed this before. It might be the hardest arc to critique, because off the top of my head, the only thing maybe you can critique is, I don't think this is even a problem, but maybe they spend too much time with the tree climbing and maybe too much time with Inari, even though that's important for the art. But like, I'm grasping at straws for like.
Well, okay. That's interesting that you say that. So first of all, the way that I would describe the difference, I guess, would be if you look at the Boruto anime, I think generally people who watch those arcs like the Boruto anime arcs, whether it's manga or filler or what. I guess I'll just reference the filler for this. All of those arcs on their own, people will say it's good, but then the Boruto anime as a whole, people would say it's bad, because it feels like all those arcs aren't really leading to anywhere. There's nothing bigger being built for an overarching story. Even if all of those individual stories are good, they don't come together to combine well or like connect to one another, to like have a bigger sense of progression throughout.
For a lot of the arcs, some of them, no. But,
Yeah. So
the only exceptions really are arguably Mitsuki desertion arc, obviously the car actuation arc, and then maybe the samurai arc, but even that one, I'm not going to count that one. It's really just
yeah,
with that arc, a couple anime only things, but
but that's
random
the
Nabito
point.
stuff,
Yeah,
random Chocho stuff, it's not going anywhere.
yeah. It's like you see those and then you finish it and you're like, that's good, but what was the point? Nothing's really changed in the story. Getting to like the end game, go playing the long game here. As opposed to Naruto, every single arc does do that. So even if you want to compare Naruto arcs and Boruto arcs, and even if you're the biggest Boruto fan in the world, and you think that the Boruto arcs are relatively as good, if not even better than the Naruto arcs, I'm not going to say that's necessarily wrong, but that doesn't mean Boruto as a story would be better than Naruto, because Naruto does do that, whereas Boruto isn't doing that. At least in terms of the Naruto canon to Boruto filler.
Arcs. The manga arcs are obviously building towards things for the most part.
Exactly. But I think that's a good way to describe it. And then obviously Sasuke Retrieval, whereas it does do that at the very end, it obviously has a lot of huge ramifications. But again, it's what the whole story has been building to, and all of the previous arcs have been doing that. So it's like going into the Sasuke Retrieval arc, it's hard to even mess it up in the first place.
I mean, yeah, one of the things you could argue for a flaw is that, which it's not really a flaw in the Sasuke Retrieval arc, though, but so the flaw of the rest of the story is that for everyone but Naruto and Sasuke, I'll say Shikamaru too, so the other members of the teams, they have these character progressions that don't go anywhere, and that's not a problem. It's the conclusion to their character arcs. But then they continue to remain around. It's the thing everyone complains about with the Kona 12. It's so were they completed arcs? Not like.
Yeah. So
what do you think about
maybe
the Shinobi system?
Yeah.
What
So
about the Shinobi system?
Yes.
So what about it?
Is the corruption solved?
Well, that's not a narrative point of the Sasuke Retrieval arc.
I think he's asking in general randomly. I'll say no. It's not solved. There you go. There's my answer. So okay. Let's go in order though. So again, I can't list something like, I wish that Naruto fought those two bandits before going to the bridge more. I wish that was more of a fight, because that's not a narrative thing holding the arc back. I think the only thing, or at least the biggest thing that I could point to that's actively quote-unquote bad for the Land of Waves is I do wish Inari at the end did have a larger role. Yes, I understand. He gathered the entire village, and he was just like Kaiza being the brave nobleman with a dream, and Naruto changed him and he did get all the villagers on board. That's great, but he does do that, and that's the point. That's all he needed to do. But I do wish he took a step further and did more than just go to the bridge and fire one bow and arrow and then all of the bad guys ran away. I guess I wish that he took out a bandit on his own, since he has a bow and arrow anyways. That's what I would say the difference is between Inari and Naruto movie 3. Okay, so the third Naruto movie, not Shippuden, but the third Naruto movie, the one where they're in the summer. There's a kid there with a tiger, and he's kind of like Inari, to where he's like very like immature, kiddish, and all that. And then Naruto changes him, but then he does more than just show he's changed. He does something with the change by saving someone, ironically, with a bow and arrow. And I think that is a difference between Inari and the kid from the third movie. It's a very small difference. It adds just a little bit of substance, but I do think it does do a little bit of a writing thing. That's what I would say is my biggest grievance with the Land of Waves.
So, I'm actually going to start by arguing against that idea, but then propose a compromise.
Okay.
So, you could argue, though, that it's actually better that he doesn't, like, kill a bandit or whatever, for a couple of reasons. One is that he's just a kid, and realistically, probably shouldn't be able to do that. But ignoring that, 'cause it's not for him here, is that for two things. One, it's that despite being too weak to actually fight them, he was still able to make a difference. That's the first point. It's despite the fact that he can't do anything, he's still made a difference. The second point is, well, how did he make a difference? He did what Naruto did for him. He changed he didn't beat up the villagers to make them change. No, he just talked to them and made them change their opinions through verbal conversation, no physical fighting whatsoever, which is essentially one of the big things that the Naruto story is doing with Naruto's talk no jutsu. Inari is essentially doing that. So you could argue it's more impactful that the one and only difference he did make is not battle related whatsoever. He just convinced the whole village. He convinced the village, basically Dr. Juice with them. You could argue that's better there. Now, my compromise is that, well, he doesn't have to kill a bandit. It's just when he shoots the one arrow and it hits nothing, it could just hit, like, the meanest bandit there. Like, the guy who's like, hey, we're not done yet. The guy who looks like Mickey Mouse. He could just hit that dude in the back or something. Don't kill him.
That would literally fix it. Yeah, that would be the fix. Yeah. Because otherwise, let's just say that you could even change it to where Naruto and Kakashi, they just can't do the shadow clone. Kakashi is right. He can't do it. He's not going to do the fake, oh, shadow clone, it's actually just not real clones, but it's shadow clone jutsu. He's just not going to do that. They just are going to attack Team 7 and probably win because they're out of chakra if Inari doesn't show up. So they're not going to be scared off from Team 7, shadow clones, going to be scared off from Inari and the villagers, which they already are, but there's just no argument in this case. It's because specifically of Inari and the bow and arrow. That's the thing that really changed the course of history there. It already technically does, but in this case, it's actively doing so.
You could do that. So, I mean, like, there's really... I guess you can do one of three versions. These are really just three iterations of the same general compromise. Option one is it's the same as in story, but the arrow that hits nothing hits the dude. Option two is he doesn't hit the dude, it's just no clones, and it's Inari who scares him away. Option three is the combination of those two. So no clones and he hits the dude. Yeah. Kind of like your three options, basically.
So I do think one of the points you made about it being more impactful if it doesn't hit somebody and he's doing it through talking alone, the chain. Arguably, yeah. I do. The other end of that, arguably, since you're saying it's arguably anyways, the other end of that would be, in a way, Zabuza does have a point about the shinobi system and broken tools being effective in combat, and you do need power in order to make a difference, because that's sort of what they're technically doing anyways through Haku, but obviously that didn't lead to the correct conclusion. But Haku and Zabuza were strong, and then you look at like Naruto with the Oath of Pain. He wasn't willing to do anything, whereas Sasuke was. And then Naruto, he learns from that. He goes to attack Zabuza. It doesn't do anything. He gets his headband back. But either way, they're making a point about power. It does matter. You can't just have the mindset, because that's what Kaisa's problem was. Kaisa did make a difference to the Land of Waves. Those people weren't anything special. Kaisa came around, he gave them bravery and all that. Gato comes around and he takes it away, not through mindset, but through power. He just overpowered Kaisa, who never gave up on his dream. But the Land of Waves, they've lost their bravery anyways.
But with that in mind, though, power doesn't have to be isolated in one strong ninja-like individual. And one of the lessons Inari teaches the villagers is that basically, if they work together, the teamwork theme, the thing that Ashura does, they work together, they can get the power to fight back that way.
I agree. And that's realistically the thing, because the bandits are going to go attack the village and really just destroy it because it's on its last legs anyways. The villagers are like, yeah, you're not going to step 1 foot in our village. So it is the villagers defending their village now. That's the difference. That's how you know the Land of Waves is going to be okay after Naruto and team go back home. They're going to defend themselves.
Because they have the confidence and mental strength to work together and do that now.
That doesn't mean...
See, the thing is, though, Uli, what have we done here? We've proved that there's no narrative flaw. Let's move on to the Chunin.
Okay. So I do have something interesting for this one.
Yeah, this is one that I feel like you could actually make some cases for. Hard ones, but you could do it.
Okay. So mine actually I wrote down the other day. I just have to find it. If you have one, you can go first.
Okay.
So again, I'll specify for those who don't understand, for Land of Waves, it has to be a narrative thing. So we can't just be like, oh, it's weird that Sasuke fought 10% of Haku, or that Sasuke was beating up Haku before the ice mirrors. It can't be a weird grievance or unexplained thing that we have. It has to be something like actual, of like a narrative thing that's holding it back. But yeah.
I don't think there really is one.
Well, that's also to say that something like, oh, Naruto versus the Rain Ninja, I didn't like it, but it's not making the Chunin exams worse. Yeah. Exactly. So
I'm curious what your pick's gonna be, because I don't even know where I want to go with this.
Yeah, so I do have one. I don't know where I do know where I wrote this. I just don't know why it's not popping up. So when Hiruzen is explaining, you know what? Maybe it's because I'm in chat instead of Naruto.
Okay, I remember you writing this.
Okay, you know it's okay. Let me go find it really quick because I think it's because I wasn't in Naruto topics this way. No, okay, it's just being weird. Let me type Hiruzen then. Okay. Where is it? No, okay, it's just not there. This is so stupid, bro. But I'll just explain it then. So when Hiruzen is explaining the reason for the Chunin exams before the prelims start in the Chunin exams, he explains the reason. He explains that it's for war, and he explains the shinobi system and all that. And in the Land of Waves, that's the thing that Naruto was against. You know, at Zabuza and Haku's funerals, that's like where he made his ninja way and all that. And what Hiruzen is describing is like the epitome of what Naruto's against. But instead of doing the cool, like, basically the written exams thing that Naruto does, where he raises his hand and like slams it down. It's like, I'll never do that. Don't underestimate me. I'm gonna be Hokage. I'm gonna change the Hyuga. He doesn't do any of that. If anything, he's almost encouraging it. If he's even listening at all, it kind of hypes Naruto up. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna show him how strong I am.
Convinced? Because you sure convinced me. But it's like, like, but Naruto, Hiruzen just said, all of you are tools.
Exactly. Yeah, so, okay, this isn't just the biggest problem in the Chunin exams. I think this is the biggest problem in Naruto, at least part 1.
I know. I know. I was about to say, that's like, it's so glossed over because it didn't really matter. But, like, technically, that doesn't work with the story. You can't feel good about it. There's wasted potential to not want to combat it, but that's technically one of the worst things in art now.
Yeah, so again, Hiruzen saying like the purpose of these third exams, the good and the bad, and the exact thing that Naruto says he's fighting against at Haku's grave. And what's Naruto's response to this?
The worst part is, it's not 10 arcs later, Naruto's changed it for God. No, it's the next arc.
Well, you convinced me. Convinced them all. So, okay, so why didn't Zabuza convince you?
It's not even the midpoint of the arc yet. Naruto can't appease his mind.
Yeah, okay, so this isn't a narrative thing holding it back, but I do think Naruto calling Zabuza a creep when he's in the Forest of Death, it goes along the same lines. Like, is that the reason that Hiruzen convinced you but Zabuza didn't? Because of what Hiruzen looks like compared to Zabuza? Is that the thing, Naruto? It's like STFU, Naruto, stop showing your ass. You clearly weren't listening. Hiruzen did not convince you by saying friendship is dying as a shinobi on the battlefield. He did not convince you with that. Stop it. Because that's the point of the series. Okay. But that's mine.
That's a good one. I'm gonna mention this, but I don't agree with it.
Okay.
You could argue because there's enough people who just miss. I'm gonna briefly get into the rant without getting too far into it. But the people who misunderstood hard work versus talent, you could say the narrative problem there is that Kishimoto wasn't clear enough. But I'm gonna say this: if I'll give people one thing that I can let them have, Kishimoto might have retconned Lee's goal. Because I was thinking about it. I don't know if the anime adds another line, but as far as I can tell, Lee only says hard work beating natural talent one time. It is in his introduction versus Sasuke, that fight. Every other time, he specifies his one and only goal is to prove that he can be a splendid ninja with only kaijus. He doesn't mention hard work beats talent ever again. So you could say, how is he going to prove himself? By beating a natural talent like Neji. But that's not his goal, which is important because his goal isn't hard work beats talent, which means it's not a story point at all. It's just to prove that he can be great despite his shortcomings, which is consistent with everything that they do in the Naruto story.
Yeah.
So the only thing I can say is because Kishimoto may have maybe retconned Lee's velocity, there's their narrative flaw. Confuse people.
Oh god. Rudo left, by the way, so there's that, by the way. Oh my god.
I don't
The whole
understand.
reason we
Like,
streamed.
what's the point in having him?
So stupid.
Not gonna talk. It's same with Mamba. Like,
I know.
he won't be there. He'll say he's always available and then never show up. And
Yeah.
Jonathan Oliver, shout out to him. At least he, as much as he totally lies to having an exam every week, at least he's been there twice.
Yeah, when he's here, he's actively here.
Exactly. Like, he participates when he's here, and he has showed up twice. So if there's anyone who's going to show up for the Daigo versus Boruto trio thing, it's probably him. Hopefully we can get Mamba or Dan, or any other haters who might be willing to join. Hashtag Torres.
But I did want to give others a chance if they had something to say about these arcs. Whether it's Archduke, who is here, or anyone in the audience. So Acolyte, John, Space, I know you don't want to talk, but Calder, I don't know if you have a mic, but free game, I see you there. I don't know if you're streaming or not. We are sort of doing a thing right now, but you can totally join. But either way. But yes, Archduke.
Can you guys hear me?
We can indeed hear you. So what, in your opinion, is the thing that is holding the narrative back of the Land of Waves and or Chunin exams the most?
Both of them. I think it's probably the same thing for both of them. And I have an extra thing with the Chunin exams. So for Land of Waves, partly for the Chunin exams, it's definitely how Sakura was written. I don't know if that counts, but
what's wrong with Sakura's writing?
Yeah,
like narratively.
Yeah, I think the way she was treated just it's not as bad in the beginning, but as we go on further in the story, it just gets, the problem just keeps getting worse and worse for her, and it really shows, I think, in the beginning as well.
So what exactly are you referencing in these first two arcs that you think held the story back through Sakura's character?
Especially in the Chunin exams. That's Sakura's best arc, in my
opinion.
Yeah, she's much better there. She's much better there, which is why I only say partly in the Chunin exams, but there's still some problems. I think.
Well, okay. But are your problems Western arguments of I find her annoying and useless?
Oh, listen, Sakura's like, this is coming from a place of hate. She's my second favorite character.
Okay.
So this is why I'm super frustrated with how she was treated throughout the entire story, more than I hate her. Yeah, she's just so useless in the beginning. Not from like, oh, she's a girl, but like, I feel like there's so much more she could have done. I know it's more like She has so much potential, but I feel like if she was treated like Naruto and Sasuke, the series would have been so much better. Don't you agree?
I disagree. I think she is treated like Naruto and Sasuke. You just don't like her role.
Yeah, especially in the Chunin exams. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's quite as much as Naruto and Sasuke, and it's pretty close. Like the force of death, Sakura gets arguably the most development in the second exam. Like in the first exam, Naruto gets the well, Sakura gets a good amount there too. But I would probably say Naruto first, Sakura close second, and then Sasuke by far third. Doesn't really have much in the ratings now. He's just got a couple cool moments of him being smart. Force of death. Here we go. I'd argue Sakura first, then Sasuke, but that's really close. And then Naruto definitely third. The prelims, it's going to be arguably Sakura first, then Naruto second. But Naruto also gets the Neji versus Hinata side of things. So those are the top two. Sasuke definitely third. And then in the finals, well, Sakura's out. So obviously, Naruto first, Sasuke second, Sakura third. But like, you see, it's pretty balanced out there. Like, Sakura was actually arguably number one for 3 of the 4 parts. So she gets plenty of development there. Definitely treated as much as the rest of Team 7.
Again, like, you'd have to look at her as a character rather than as a shinobi, since that's not why we're watching the story anyways.
And I'll also add, in the Land of Waves arc, Sasuke really doesn't get much more development than Sakura. Naruto had by far the most development, and arguably Kakashi's got more. Like, it's really Naruto focused at that one.
Yeah. Free game if you want up, just let me know.
I partly agree with you with the Chunin. She definitely has the most development. I don't really. It's fine, but I think there could have been more depth. The Land of Waves is where.
What do you mean by that? Because Sakura has a lot of depth in the Land of Waves.
Does she?
And it's not less than Sasuke.
Exactly.
I think it's Sasuke has a little bit more, not that much, but I think it's more of like I just wish he had like one good fight, just one. Like,
see, I knew you were gonna say that. I knew that was gonna be a problem with Sakura in the Land of Waves. Well, who does she fight? That's not a problem with her character, though. Who does Inari fight? Inari's a great character. Who does Tazuna fight? Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think
Who does
you said earlier that
he fought Zabuza.
Naruto only has one fight too.
Yeah, but I feel like it would have done so much, just a little bit more for her. And I feel like Inari could have, not like a big fight, but it really would help for him to be more. I just feel like maybe not a fight, but I obviously prefer that, but like just like a little bit more, just a little bit more focus. I feel like that's the main problem. But Land of Waves is pretty solid.
Her having a fight isn't going to change anything. Let's just say Sasuke's slow and Sakura's the one who defends Tazuna from the Demon Brothers like she was going to do anyways. That doesn't do anything for her character. Same with Zabuza striking down Tazuna. Kakashi's a little bit slow and Sakura defends the sword slash with a kunai. You're going to say that's a problem more than if Kakashi gets in the way and she does nothing.
I still think it would help a lot. But I do say this from a place of bias. It's obviously not just saying she just had a random fight. I do have one in my mind that comes from a place that I have read before. But yeah, I do think having her having more of a role would have really helped. But it doesn't have to be a fight. I prefer that. But yeah, I feel like it's not as noticeable, which is why I didn't really pay that much attention the first watch through. I did Naruto, but
well, even then, she is just actively being useful in the Land of Waves, especially in the manga. Like, she saves Naruto's life when Sasuke doesn't.
That's true, but what else? She protects Tazuna a bit.
Yeah.
On the bridge. And
I'll also add that, like, even if you want to say she was useless, it's not like they don't
do anything with that narrative. Like, it's kind of a point that she's falling behind Naruto and Sasuke at the beginning of the Chunin exam. Like, Sasuke calls her out for it, and she's upset about that. That's why she's depressed going into the Chunin exams, because she feels weak, and then she relies on Naruto and Sasuke against Orochimaru again, and then she has to come out of her shell in the later part of the Force of Death with the Sound Trio, and then obviously versus Sakura and Ina. So they took that thing from the Land of Waves and applied it to Chunin exams. So it's not like this made the story worse, because they made it into the story for her. So you can say, oh yeah, Sakura's weak, whatever, but like, that's not holding the story back, because it is the story in a sense.
I would agree with you. I mean, this is pretty obvious. If she's weak at the start, of course, later arc takes it off of her doing something more useful. Like, I kind of think they did in the Chunin exams, but that would be good. I would not hold that against the Land of Waves, but in my opinion, they do not do enough of that for her in the Chunin exams, and for the rest of part 1. Enough, in my opinion. It's just
the thing is, I mean, sort of to go the opposite of Kamui's point, at the beginning of the Chunin exam, really the end of the Land of Waves, Sakura just is technically above Naruto, if not arguably Sasuke. I mean, Naruto and Sasuke are literally catching up to her for the rest of the arc. They're not allowed to protect Tazuna along with Sakura until they complete the tree climbing.
Okay, but that's in one specific regard, not overall combat ability.
Yeah.
I don't think that matters, because that's what the focus on is in this arc.
Yes, but they also show in the Demon Brothers scene that Sasuke just is ahead of Sakura. And then they're having Sasuke be quote-unquote a rival for Haku, who's stronger than Kakashi. Now, that makes no sense, but that would definitely apply over Sakura.
The rival is in essence of like the Kekkei Genkai more than anything else, but I don't think the Demon Brother thing shows that Sasuke's stronger than Sakura.
Zabuza's water clones, and that was impressive. Wasn't Sakura doing that?
But, well, how are you getting Sasuke over Sakura based on the Chunin, or based on the Demon Brothers? Because then you could use the same argument to say, well, Neji's above Hinata based on the fact that Neji got in the way of Hinata's death.
What?
Well, how are you getting Sakura below Sasuke based on that?
Because Sasuke's the one who beat the Demon Brothers. Sakura wasn't going to be able to do that.
I don't know about that. I mean, if anything, Sakura moved before Sasuke did.
Sakura was not beating him.
Okay, well then why did Sakura move before Sasuke could?
I don't think she did. I think he moved before Sasuke did, not before he could.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous, but fine.
Look at the speed in which Sakura moved, and then Sasuke from a greater distance moved. He clearly moved faster. He just didn't move as quickly for whatever reason.
Nah, bro, I think Sakura was prepared. She could pick him on.
Yeah, the Sakura is not my main point when it comes to Chunin exams. It's more of the Land of Waves. My main point when it comes to Chunin exams is not really how to do with it. It's more the overall structure of part 1 is there really, and I mean really should have been an arc between the Land of Waves and the Chunin exams. I feel like that would have helped with so much, including Sakura.
What are you going to have her do, though? Because she's already where Naruto and Sasuke need to be, so if you have her train, you're just taking away what she already has.
Well, it doesn't have to be all by herself. I mean, we can look at Daigo's rewrite, for example, with the Country of Crystals arc. She doesn't take the main spotlight of it. She does stuff, she gets stuff with Sasuke, and she's not completely useless, so I feel like it helps without completely overshadowing what she would do in the Chunin exam. So I think that would help a lot. It also introduces more characters, which puts off the burden from the Chunin exam so they can focus on other characters that they introduce in that arc. I feel like it would have been way better.
Okay, well, I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree on that one. Did you have anything for the Chunin exams in particular? Or is it just going to be Sakura still as well, you said?
for the Chunin exams,
You know, something that's holding the story back.
story back itself, I feel like the Chunin exams is pretty solid overall. I probably have one thing in my notes, but I have to look at that. But yeah, I feel like
Okay. Well,
besides
I'm glad you
that-
say that because I'm not over it. I can't move on. What about Sakura's role holds the story of the Land of Waves back?
if you have one of your main characters who you can say the setup for a character later on is good, but if all she has is setup, I feel like you're just kind of like cutting off one of the main problems you sort of can make it so much better.
So,
You understand?
what in the Land of Waves is worse based on Sakura's role?
I feel like her interaction with other characters. the
Which
overall-
characters?
Naruto and Sasuke are like the biggest ones, but like if she had like something with like Zabuza or Haku or like anyone else, that'd be amazing. But
Okay. Well, I feel like Zabuza and Haku. Zabuza's really Kakashi's antagonist. Haku. I have a whole thing in my script about this. You could argue for Sasuke, but it's really Naruto and Sasuke. But it's suddenly a little bit more Sasuke, but Naruto has his own things as well. You could argue there should be a third person on Zabuza and Haku's team. It's sort of takeaway from the Zabuza-Haku dynamics. I don't know about that. But you could do that for Sakura, but it's not
I feel like if you're going to do that, you should have Sakura. It's like, this doesn't make sense, but instead of Naruto fighting Gato's goons, it would be like Sakura. Like, she could be more on the Gato end of things. Kind of probably be the best way to do that.
Could do that, yeah. But again, these aren't like rewrites or fan fictions of ways we would want the story to be better. This is the story as it is. What's holding it back, if that makes sense. Because I don't think Sakura's role, as it is, holds the Land of Waves back. I'll just say
I agree.
I have to disagree, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. If anything, you can say you have a problem with Sakura's character in the Land of Waves, but that's not holding the Land of Waves as a story back. She plays a role well for that arc. But either way. Okay, I actually did have technically another one for the Chunin exams really quickly. I'm not going to say this is the worst thing in the world, but I do think at the end of the arc, when Neji changes his goal from like destiny or whatever to just arbitrarily, I never want to lose again, I want to be strong. I feel like he shouldn't have that as his new goal. I'm not going to say that's the worst goal in the world. It's a random, but I'm not going to say that's why I don't like it. It feels like it almost goes against the point. Like it almost feels like destiny that he's never going to lose again. That's sort of his goal. Whereas the end of the arc, Naruto proves him wrong about destiny. Neji's mindset coming out of that is, I don't know what the truth is about destiny. Is it like everyone's like a cloud floating on the stream? Or is it that they'll come across other clouds and be changed their course of direction? It feels like Neji's goal is not only just loose for like a power shonen sense. Why would he even want that or care? We don't know. That doesn't necessarily hold the story back, but it feels like the goal in a way almost contradicts Neji's new change in mindset or growth by just being, I never want to lose again, when that feels like something destiny-ish, if that makes sense.
I mean, I don't know that it feels Destiny-ish, but it doesn't feel anti-Destiny-ish, if that makes sense.
Exactly, yeah. It's like,
like, it just feels like it's, instead of going in the opposite direction, he's just got some random new direction. It's as good as a change, but
I don't want to say it's him doubling down.
It also just disappears after the Kidomaru fight as well.
Exactly. Like, I don't want him to say that he's gonna let destiny decide whether he wins or loses or anything like that or whatever. But I want him to, if anything, be like, I'm gonna take my own destiny in my own hands to make sure I win from here on out. Or I don't know, just something, just change it up at least a little bit. Or at least I'll do my best to make my own destiny.
You could even do this the smallest thing ever. But if you were to say, I never want to lose again, even if it is my destiny to lose.
Yeah,
Kind of just
that'd
the
be
smallest
fine.
thing ever. It's the same goal, but he just adds in the dialogue, however you want to do it. But the point is, I'm gonna win, even if it's my destiny to lose, just like Naruto did. So that way, when it gets
Yeah.
to the Kidomaru fight, Kidomaru doesn't say it's your destiny to lose, but like he basically says you're gonna lose, and then Neji's like, destiny isn't something for you to decide. I can't lose, blah blah. It just works slightly better there, but it's not the end of the world.
That would
But
be
you could
good.
argue that holds the story back because of the destiny theme aspect. And then where Neji's character goes doesn't really have anything to do with destiny until it randomly does at the war and so on.
Yeah. I think Neji, he could even say something along the lines of I had it, but now I lost it. He could say something along what you said is pretty good. Even if it's my destiny to lose, I'll still try my best to win, just like Naruto did.
Yeah, like I'd make that a little bit nicer dialogue. That sounds more human.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say.
Like,
yeah, okay. Yeah, so what I was gonna say is that he's gonna do what Hisashi did, to where it doesn't matter what his destiny is, because Neji isn't gonna follow destiny, he's gonna follow what he wants to do. You could apply that to in a fighting sense to get to that same idea. Even if it's his destiny to lose, he'll win if he wants to. That almost goes back to like Itachi's line of like, no matter how strong you are, I'll beat you, or whatever he said to Madara or Obito or whatever.
He did not say that to Madara or Obito.
It's close enough. You get the idea. Or it could even be like Hiruzen's line of the Will of Fire, or Haku's line, you be as strong as you need to be to protect someone precious to you. This could be Neji's version of that through destiny.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly the best, because the question is, do we want to take it into the leave it as the I'll never lose again thing, or do we want to turn it into some brand new thing?
I think considering his ultimatum on destiny was that he thought he knew what it was before, now he's unsure. I think his new goal could be he doesn't know if destiny exists or not, but if it does, he can surely change his own. That should be his goal.
I like that as an idea.
Yeah. I like that.
Or perhaps it doesn't exist at all, but like either way, fate will be in his own hands, because it either doesn't exist or he can change it.
Exactly, because Naruto proved it. It doesn't matter if destiny exists or not, because if it doesn't, Naruto's going to do what he wants. If it does, Naruto's going to change his destiny.
Yeah.
Neji's going to do the same. I think that's how it goes.
Narratively.
Yeah. Okay. I think you gave one for the tuning exams already?
I gave one that I don't agree with. I like that Neji one, because that works way better.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
trying to think of like narrative beats, and I'm like, is there anything with Sasuke and Orochimaru that could be argued as bad? Is there?
I mean, I'm not going to say this holds the story back at all, but I do wish we got any kind of conclusion at all on Yoroi and Mizumi, even if we just knew that they died, whether Orochimaru killed them or whatever. That would boost Orochimaru's narrative a little bit. But,
yeah, I guess like I'm not going to count this, but like just the Sasuke versus Yoroi fight is underwhelming for me. But
yeah. Again, there's the wasted potential with
for a narrative thing.
The wasted potential with like Kabuto and Orochimaru's dynamic that doesn't really go anywhere. That's in this arc. But you can also again say Dosu's death.
The story. It doesn't hold the narrative that Chunin stands back though.
That's exactly. Like Keen is a nothing character, but that doesn't do anything. I do think one thing you could say.
The story back. If anything, the one thing she did do was that story for Sakura, though.
Yeah, they also set up Neji versus Sasuke, but again, that's not holding the story back. It's just waste potential that they never got to. One thing you could say is Naruto never woke up and saw the sound trio at all. You could just have him wake up before Sasuke and fight them. I'm not going to say it holds the story back, but I think you could argue to a degree, if you had a reason, that could be something that they could have done.
Well, actually, something I was going to say you could argue for is Sasuke never got to see the prelim matches, and if he did, he could have felt a greater desire, like I need to get stronger, having watched Shino beat up Zaku, and then Neji's fight, especially Gaara, and even Naruto beating Kiba and so on. You could argue that dynamics that can make Sasuke's drive to get stronger even stronger, because he doesn't get to see all those. He doesn't get to see all the people who would have bodied him, basically.
Yeah, same with the finals, to where Sasuke being late is cool, especially his arrival. But if Sasuke was just there from the beginning, he just could have given his thoughts on Naruto and Neji, and just anyone else for that matter.
Exactly, especially if like, imagine like he sees the Neji fight, and Kakashi thinks, yeah, Sasuke stands no chance against Neji. He thinks he can beat Gaara after watching Lee, but he just doesn't think he can beat Neji.
Yeah.
Especially if Sasuke and Kakashi mentions something about that, and then he sees Naruto beat Neji, going into Konoha Crush, and then he's gonna see Naruto beat Gaara, who Sasuke couldn't beat. That's a double whammy of like, god damn, Naruto's beating me.
And especially after the Haku thing, but we'll get to that later. What I will say is, I definitely do like when Sasuke shows up and he's like, Naruto, did you win? And Naruto's like, you betcha! Now you need to beat that sand freak, because I want to fight you too, Sasuke! He like flashes back to, I want to fight you the most.
Oh.
That's good.
So that's the problem, though, is that they're doing something else instead of it because of what they did differently. So you can't say it holds it back, but I do think there's definitely story things they could. Technically speaking, you could argue it holds it back, because what we just said is cool, but there's probably more narrative behind Sasuke watching.
Yeah. I mean, likewise, you could say there's obviously intentional reasons why this happened, but you could say Hinata passing out and not seeing the Naruto versus Neji fight conclusion does hold the story back, depending on how you want to argue it. Yeah, I'm not going to say the Kabuto thing that doesn't go anywhere.
At the very least, we don't get a conclusion. Like, Lee misses the fight, but gets this here that Neji lost.
That's what I was going to say.
But we don't get her reaction.
Exactly, yeah. Again, I do think there's reasons for that, but I could see someone making the argument pretty well that holds the story back.
But does it hold the story back, or is that just a missed opportunity?
I don't know. I would say the Kabuto Hinata Kiba thing is a missed opportunity, but this one I think you could argue hold the story back. But either way. But Konoha Crush. Do you have one?
Yeah, I don't know with this one, bro.
This is a short one. We might have to go with what we've already said. Oh, I do have one. Okay. This, I'm not going to say it holds the story back necessarily, but it's a little bit nonsensical. Actually, okay, I do know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say two different things. The first one is going to hold the story back. I think that Naruto should have mentioned Haku more when he's talking to Gaara. A little bit wasted opportunity there. I think he could have definitely done something there. Not just quote Haku, but like tell Gaara about Haku, and that could be part of what changes Gaara. I think that could have worked really well. But something that I was going to say, it's a little bit nonsensical. Like, okay. This is something that I'm just confused about. What did the world think happened to the Ninetales? Do they think Kushina's still alive? Do they know Kushina died? Do they know that Kushina had the Ninetales after Mito? I think they at least knew that.
You mean the world outside of the Leaf Village?
Yeah.
Like,
does the Cloud Village know the whereabouts of the Ninetales?
Well, that's a good point, because they know, like, when did the Raikage find out that Minato died against the Ninetales?
Exactly, but even then,
he has to know about the attack.
Churiki itself would be different as well. Like, I think Kushina's death just wasn't known across the world. I could be wrong. I mean, Naruto was taboo to talk about, but Danzo did leak the word out. So I guess it's a question of, did the civilians tell the Cloud civilians who told the higher-ups about the Ninetales or something? I don't know.
Yeah, how did anyone know?
Exactly. But
that's definitely not a Konoha Crush problem. That would just be like an overarching.
No, but that's why this applies to Konoha Crush. Like, going with like the politic conflict situation, it's ridiculous. Baki just thinks about using the One-Tails as the ultimate weapon to destroy the Leaf Village. Yes, I know Orochimaru Sound Village is backing him up, but the point is that Gaara's the ultimate weapon because he's the One-Tails. But then, like, little bit of a flash forward here, but then, like, what's the first Kazekage? His name's, like, not Ruto, not Rasa. It's,
I don't remember.
Right, yeah, that or whatever it is. Yeah, he's, like, complaining. Yeah, his land is aired, so he wants them to tell Beast, because, oh, the Nine Tails are so strong, it's not fair. Look at the division of tell Beast to the land and all that, and blah, blah. We never really get a resolution there anyways, whatever.
So, but I have two things.
Uh-huh.
So one would be the most in-universe, everything considered reason. So yes, it's just the One Tails, the Leaf Village has the Nine Tails. The difference with Gaara, though, is he uniquely, the Shukaku One Tails Jinchuriki, uniquely can just play Possum Jutsu and be fine. It doesn't matter. They just wake back up and they don't die. Whereas if anyone else is going to unleash their tail beast, that isn't Killer Bee or Yukito, they just die, which means they're probably not going to do. They probably don't have the ability to just do. The Jinchuriki's not only going to not be willing to, they probably don't have the ability to just do what Gaara can do. And even ignoring that, Gaara can also just be the One Tails in control once he's just insane enough before falling asleep. He just does do that. No, it's not quite as strong as Shukaku, but like it's 99% there. So if as long as Baki just either knows this or comes to the conclusion that Gaara can reasonably go tail beast mode, whereas the others can't. So is that. The other one is the tail beast might be a retcon.
I know. I wish the story explained this better.
Nine Tails and this demon, and then they got Ross and all of them just wouldn't know that the Leaf Village has the same thing.
I know. Like rewatching the hospital scene where Gaara has a sand wrapped around Lee, and he's telling Naruto and Shikamaru about the One Tails and all that. Naruto thinks to himself, he's got one inside of him too? That doesn't directly state anything of a retcon. It just feels like it's implied like these demons are like different from the lore that we actually got.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Naruto just doesn't know what the tail beast is.
I know. He doesn't know what chakra is.
I think Gaara's not overly surprised. He's just like, oh yeah, my demon's as real as your demon. You know, like.
I know.
But Gaara also, in character, would be like that, whether there were tail beasts or not. So.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Baki. Well, okay. I don't think Baki knows Orochimaru's a part of the Sound Village, does he?
Oh, he definitely knew. Because...
Yeah, you're right. His Kabuto connections. Okay.
Unless he just didn't know Orochimaru was the leader, but he knew.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's fine. So, Baki knows the Sound Village, and Orochimaru is going to help him destroy the Leaf Village. So maybe that's why he's willing to risk it, I guess. Plus, there's also, like, at this point, it's, like, nothing to lose, or I don't know what the phrase would be, but like, you got everything. It's like, I don't know, you're already devastated. If this doesn't work, you're already screwed anyways. You might as well try this.
Yeah. Well, it's also not his call. The Kazekage is telling him what to do. He's just
that as well, yeah. And realistically, he's mad at the feudal lord.
Shikamaru and Sasuke Retrieval Arc. We're just following orders. Like,
yeah. I mean, I guess you could argue that's one of the complaints about this arc that narratively holds it back. We get no resolution on feudal lord, nothing here. Baki just says that's like the whole reason the Sand Village is doing this in the first place, and there's just nothing heard from at all. It's like, oh yeah, that idiot feudal lord. That's the last time we hear about that.
So they're just fine. Did Gaara kill the feudal lord or something when he got back? Or...
Exactly.
Did Orochimaru kill him? That'd be the funniest resolution. Orochimaru did save the Sand Village by killing the feudal lord. It would also be funny if Orochimaru was actually impersonating the feudal lord the whole time and making the Sand Village economy bad, so that they would agree to it.
I mean, you could probably also argue, even if the Nine Tails has. Or sorry, even if the Leaf Village has the Nine Tails, it's going to be reaction time. If Shukaku spawns and does one Biju bomb before the Nine Tails can foderize them, it doesn't matter. The village is destroyed. Even if the One Tails is killed immediately after, there's no more village. So it's like Pain destroying the Leaf Village in that regard.
The fact that the Biju bomb is a retcon that didn't exist in Go Crush, but
I know, yeah, but ignore that. But I agree. I think the tail beasts are retconned, and that's part of the problem there. It's just, I don't think... I think the tail beasts were just wandering out in the world, if they even existed at all. Like the Nine Tails, it just wasn't inside Kushida at first. It just was part of the world and just came across the Leaf Village. Or whatever. I think that was the original
That's how
plan.
it's originally described.
Exactly, yeah. Otherwise, it doesn't even make sense that the Nine Tails is like causing tidal waves. No, it's not. It's been inside a Jinchuriki for hundreds of years. When is it doing that? Freaking Ward States.
There's no water by the Leaf Village for it to make tidal waves.
Grob is just that shocked.
And there's no mountains either. It can be smashing trees, but not doing the other things.
I love it.
And then the other thing is that in Search for Tsunade, Jiraiya mentions, that they're after the Nine Tails, but like I said, it's not a retcon, and you're right, it's not a retcon, but you can tell he might come up with the tail bees because Kakashi in canon knows about the tail bees long before this isn't the first time he's ever heard of the tail bees when he's an adult. He's known about this for years. Jiraiya's not mentioning, hey, the Akatsuki are going after all 9 Biju. He wouldn't mention that. No, Naruto's like the direct thing they need to protect. But telling Kakashi they're going after all the Biju. No, Kakashi's not planning on warning the Stone Village, but it tells them what the Akatsuki's goals. And that's important for the village to know. So it's something he just wouldn't say. He wouldn't he wouldn't go out of his way to not say it. You know?
I agree, yeah. At the very least, there is one retcon that has to be a retcon. Even if we want to say nothing else is, there's one thing that has to be. It's so clearly implied that the Nine Tails is going from outside of the village to inside of the village in episode 1, whereas obviously we find out that the Nine Tails just spawns inside the village through summoning jutsu. That's not how it's described. There's nowhere is that implied that the Nine Tails is doing that at all. In fact, it's not even like an ambiguous setup or hint or anything that's dropped. Like Hiruzen isn't talking to Ruka and he's like, the mystery of the Nine Tails of that night. There's no mystery. I mean, just everything is known.
Okay. This is ridiculous, but he does say a nine-tailed fox suddenly appeared.
Okay. Yeah, then he flashes to the Nine Tails outside of the village to visually describe it. I don't know, it's weird.
He suddenly appeared outside the village.
I'll give you that. But
even then, though, what we just said, these are just goofy things. These aren't holding the narrative of the Chunin exams or the overarching story back.
The Feudal Lord, I do think you can argue it's holding it back, but outside of that, yeah.
Maybe, but I don't know if it's holding it back. It just seems like that probably should have been addressed.
Yeah. Archduke, if you have one, feel free. So I can go to the bathroom while you give yours for the Konoha Crush. Please, Archduke, feel free. Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Well, then again, though,
you say you're on. Then again,
the feudal earth thing is actually mentioned in the Chunin exams, and then the payoff wouldn't necessarily have to be in the Konoha Crush. It might be the Sasuke Retrieval Arc when they pay that off. So is that even a flaw of Konoha Crush?
Yeah, I don't really have much to say about the Konoha Crush in terms of like flaws.
I feel like this is doing the exact opposite of what Oodie wanted. So he wanted to be like, see, we can critique the narrative of the Naruto story. And all we've done so far is prove there's nothing.
Yeah. So one thing I was kind of like thinking about, but not even really. Probably this is more of like a potential thing. I guess I wish Orochimaru was like maybe still part of the Akatsuki. If he wasn't already, maybe more Akatsuki foreshadowing in the Konoha Crush, being like a member spying on Naruto or something. But that is more of a personal thing. Like it's holding back the narrative.
The only, I mean, we get into Orochimaru Akatsuki related things. It's not even about the Akatsukis, but the way he interacts with Naruto. That doesn't make much sense. But that's also not one arc specifically. It's comparing Chunin exams to Search for Tsunade to Tenchi Bridge, where he's just flip-flopping left and right on like what he wants to do with Naruto in relation to the Akatsuki. So he just tosses Naruto aside on the Chunin exams, you know, and then we learn, okay, he's getting a little bit worried about Naruto because of how he's affecting Sasuke. And that's part of the reason why he wants to kill him and search for Tsunade, but it's also not because he says in Search for Tsunade, "Oh, I let Naruto live out of consideration for the Akatsuki." Why is he considerate of them? He doesn't like them. And then he's gonna go kill him though because it's a threat and he doesn't want the Akatsuki to get him, right? And he changed his mind there. And it's the Sasuke thing. But then Tenchi Bridge is like, oh, you can actually kill the Akatsuki. Stop changing your mind, Orochimaru. But that's not one arc. That's just
Yeah.
an Orochimaru problem.
I agree with Kabuto, with Kamui, that so for the feudal lord thing being in the Chunin exams rather than Konoha Crush, I agree. But to be fair, it's all taking place in the same time. You could just call it like the Chunin exams saga, if you want to do it that way, instead of Chunin exams arc and the Konoha Crush arc. They're kind of together in that regard, so I think that critique could be valid for that. For the Akatsuki and Konoha Crush, that's where I would agree with you on that, Kamui, to where they're literally not in the arc. And so because this is supposed to be like a specific arc thing rather than an overall story thing, so it's not like looking at the connection or like the future things of how that could tie together retroactively, foreshadowing or whatever. It'd be looking at the arc itself, and if it's just not in the arc, then I don't think it could hold the arc back, obviously. So it's like something that is there that you would change rather than something you would add or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is, like I said, we're proving the dark is better.
Your manga / anime.
Yeah. So, okay. After Konoha Crush, we have Search for Tsunade. So, did you want to start this one, Kamui? Or Archduke, if you have one for this one?
I was trying to think.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's any narrative problems. There's goofy things like Kabuto's little bit weird character, or Orochimaru's killing Naruto opinions, and the fact that they thought Tsunade could heal Orochimaru's arms for whatever reason. It's never explained how she was going to, and blah blah blah. But these aren't narrative problems. I don't think the Search for Tsunade arc has a narrative problem. Maybe you can convince me, but off the top of my head, I can't think about any.
Yeah. A couple of things you could argue are problems, but aren't really problems and aren't narrative problems. But you could argue, I guess, maybe a little bit somehow, some roundabout way. Shizune says that she's going to stop Tsunade from going to Orochimaru, even if it costs her life. She's not going to let her go no matter what, and then she just doesn't get in her way at all. there's something. Thoughts?
Yeah, because Tsunade just got her out of the way, like, basically.
Yeah, and that stopped her. It's like so much for her life or whatever. She's just not going to try. There's that. You could say that Tsunade has like some weird fear hacks like Orochimaru did when Kakashi is protecting Sasuke.
It's similar to Kabuto, Orochimaru, and Tsunade. Tsunade's like using a jutsu, but it's a similar to thing. Shizune fears Tsunade, not because she's evil, but because she's stronger and she's scary. She's like a mean Kushina, like scary. Orochimaru, Kabuto, it's more like Orochimaru's scary, but he's also evil.
Yeah. Another one you could argue, it's not really made clear at the start of the Tsunade Orochimaru fight what they're doing. Again, it's not really a narrative thing, but like, is it that Tsunade's trying to defeat or kill Orochimaru and Kabuto? Or is it that Orochimaru and Kabuto are trying to kill or defeat or capture Tsunade? Or what are they doing exactly?
Okay,
it's
so
like,
it's obvious. Tsunade's trying to kill them or at least defeat them, but probably kill them.
Exactly. We don't know. Exactly.
But
what's the goal?
That's not even a narrative problem.
But like, yeah, I know. But it's like, we don't have a clear goal, is how I would describe that to be a narrative problem. But that's not really a narrative problem.
I mean, you have the general gist. They're going to force her to say, so just going to beat her up to convince her, basically. And then she's going to seemingly kill them. Because she says, like, oh, there's going to be one less Sannin in the world. It seems like she's trying to kill him.
Okay. And then the final one, this is my one of all the ones. So this is the one that I would point to as like a problem. Tsunade narratively defeats Orochimaru. I don't like Orochimaru's reason for leaving.
Okay.
It's very arbitrary. Yeah.
It's not as bad as Juro. but it's a
Yeah.
similar idea in the sense that like, so Tsunade herself comments like, I'm landing all these punches. Why doesn't it feel like I'm getting anywhere? He's not getting anywhere. He doesn't feel it. It's not hurting. He's just fine.
Exactly.
I think Kabuto is fine enough. Like, if the reason was Jiraiya was now back at full power and blah blah blah, but like Orochimaru gotta beat Jiraiya just before this.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna say in universe Orochimaru's excuse for leaving is bad. He has a perfectly legitimate reason to leave when he does. I think writing wise, Kishimoto choosing to write it that way is a little bit lazy. It's too easy.
You could argue it's because he didn't want Orochimaru to like lose because he wants Orochimaru to be the threat and so on, so he wants him to kind of just leave almost stalemated. Could be
Yeah.
why.
I mean, you could also argue maybe he's trying to do the
They also
same
don't
thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Because they also probably just doesn't want one of the Sannin to just blatantly beat the other Sannin, especially when it's the villain Sannin there. Like,
True.
probably just doesn't want that.
Yeah. Well, I also don't like how they get away in the first place. Because that's the thing with this jutsu, quote unquote jutsu. It's the same thing that Sasuke burns away at the end of Tenchi Bridge. It's just
They just
ridiculous.
turn purple.
Yeah, it's chakra mist and just float away. It's like, could they do that at any time? So how is Tsunade ever going to destroy them? Like, it doesn't make that goal make sense either. If they could have done that at the very beginning of the fight before Tsunade even punches them once. So,
Yeah, if they just didn't want to fight her.
yeah, like, could they do that mid-combat? Like, they're in the middle of a taijutsu exchange. Orochimaru just turns to purple mist and he's like, I teleported to his hideout. Like, how does it work?
Yeah, it's just flying Raijin before flying Raijin was invented. There's they don't do this jutsu ever again after flying Raijin.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. I don't like that. So it's like I don't even know what the point of tracker ninja are in Naruto if this exists.
Yeah, like how are they gonna track them? Because they don't know where they're going when they just disappear.
Exactly.
You
Like-
can guess and hope you're right, but if you're just wrong.
Because let's
Well.
say that Tsunade's goal is to kill Orochimaru and Kabuto, and Tsunade's winning. Orochimaru and Kabuto are leaving because they're losing. Unless Tsunade changed her goal for whatever reason, oh no, Naruto's in peril, we gotta make sure he's safe instead of going after him. Fine. In Search for Tsunade, it rains. Pakun can't track Sasuke. Fine. There's nothing here from memory that Tsunade wouldn't be able to just track him outside of this jutsu, just retconning them from existence of this location. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. It feels conclusive, but it feels conclusive in the Orochimaru's like, I don't need you. Well, he does need her. Okay, that's my problem with this arc is when he says, "Oh, I don't need you this one other way." Well, I don't think he was referring to the Reaper Death Seal mask. I don't think he had that yet. Kishimoto definitely did, but Orochimaru, because if he did have the idea, he would have just taken the mask with him.
I know. He's
What do you do to that
obviously, for part one story, he's
So-
definitely referring to Sasuke, which is what I was going to say. I think he should have a
That's the
legitimate
problem,
reason for
though.
leaving, and it needs to be Sasuke for what the Sasuke Retrieval Arc is, but how do you write it that way?
But also, though, it just isn't true. The
I
one
know.
other way of Sasuke doesn't fix it. And he seems to be aware that he's not surprised when it doesn't work. And that's your
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, realistically, tell me if you disagree. I feel like the body's swap jutsu, it probably should have worked. There's nothing in the story that needs Orochimaru to have his arms lost in Shippuden. Outside of him just not
Pardon me?
attacking
Well-
the village. But you could just say,
okay, pardon me.
I don't know.
Okay, there are some problems with it, but so on one hand, it just has the lasting impact of heroes and sacrifice. They could argue. The other thing is,
Yeah.
So you can have Sasuke just be stronger than Orochimaru, but that's not what they do. The way the story does it is that he's not. He only beat him because his arms were sealed. They're saying that even back in the war arc, and that's actually a segue to one of my
Well,
Naruto topics somewhere.
I kind of disagree with that. I think it's just because he's on his deathbed. Like, all his stats are just plummeted. And realistically, realistically, it's not even about that, because no matter how that fight was going to go anyways, the physical fight isn't what mattered. It's the body transfer jutsu, genjutsu fight that mattered.
But at the same time,
okay.
I agree with what you're saying. But Kishimoto had Suigetsu say it's because his arms were sealed by the Reaper Death Seal.
Okay.
So it seems like Kishimoto wanted us to think that, and I can actually try to find it because we're mentioning
sure
the Sannin strength.
We could also, the Sannin strength is also important, because do we want the Vortex to be relative to an Orochimaru with his arms? You could scale him down because the 3 years are almost up, so his body could start be giving away. That's what's implied at the end of the fight anyways. That's why he leaves then. Actually,
I just realized
that's probably a good enough reason.
Image. Oh my god. Okay. I forgot to post the images. This is ridiculous. So I'm gonna undelete them from my phone.
You know what? I would just reuse that reason for Orochimaru leaving in Search for Tsunade, for the exact same reason that he leaves against the Vortex. The 3 years of his current body is almost up. He needs Sasuke's body like now. He can't afford to waste time here. In fact, maybe this is why his body's giving out when it is in the Sasuke Retrieval Arc, because he spent too much of his energy in the Search for Tsunade arc, so now he has less time, which gives that arc almost more reason to exist, because without that arc, Orochimaru does succeed at taking Sasuke's body, because he would have got there in time. He doesn't get there in time because of this arc, because Orochimaru has less time because of it.
That could be good. Like, he could just realize his body's trying to reject him. Because of this, the Sasuke Retrieval Arc right after this anyway, and he tells Sanfor it's time. There you go. It would be done. He just gets back and immediately says that because it gave out in this fight. Okay, that's
the Sasuke reason as well. That. I agree. I think that is the best way.
But if you go to Naruto topic, they replied to my topic with the images, so they'll help you find the topic too and give you the images.
Okay.
So the images are just showing nerfed Edo Hiruzen partially dodging one of unstable Obito's attacks, the Truth Seeker orbs.
Yeah.
So the partial dodge, like, he's going for the face and he misses the face, but he hits his shoulder. So it's like a half beat, you could call it. And then you have Obito just blitz Naruto and Sasuke there. So, and then you previously had the whole new sun. Let me just actually read what I wrote word for word real quick. So Edo Hiruzen, who would be physically nerfed by Edo Tensei, partially dodged unstable Jubito, whereas KCM Naruto and EMS Sasuke were blitzed by Jubito. Considering Orochimaru and Hiruzen were relative, does that mean the quote-unquote new Sannin moment really was them just catching up to the Sannin? Based on this scaling, part 1 Orochimaru low-key was stronger than EMS Sasuke. Suigetsu was right about Orochimaru when EMS Sasuke revived him. Orochimaru was wrong. He could have beaten Sasuke. But, like, balancing out the ridiculousness, were they really just catching up to the Sannin?
So, okay. The argument here, I think, could be... Well, there's multiple arguments.
Real quick, just to add on to it. Sakura really is just catching up to Tsunade there. She's just doing Tsunade's jutsu. She's not going beyond Tsunade, realistically. And then her whole thing is catching up to Naruto and Sasuke at that moment. So Sakura has caught up to Tsunade. She caught up to Naruto and Sasuke at the same time. That implies they're all Tsunade level, which means they're all Sannin level.
So... Okay. Part of the problem is that Naruto's in KCM here and not base.
Hiruzen has a speed beat on the Divine Tree better than Tobirama.
I think this would be better. You could fix this by just having base Naruto and base I Sasuke. This is the version he blitzed.
Well, yeah, but that's not what we got.
I know. That'd be my way of fixing it.
I know Hiruzen was fighting Guru and doing better than the entire alliance combined. So that's
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
the Sannin's strength.
So okay, well that's one of my arguments. Is well, first of all, one of my arguments was going to be that Jubito's unstable here, so his power could be fluctuating. So that could be an explanation. But that's a little bit ridiculous. But I think a realistic explanation would be just like Kimimaro and just like a ton of other people. Yes, the Oto Tensei is a nerf, but this is prime Hiruzen, even if it looks like old man Hiruzen. So his old age isn't like nerfing in this regard.
Well, that's what I was going to say, but that only applies to Hiruzen's stamina. Not the first thing Hiruzen actually does.
I mean, you could argue that it would give him a speed boost.
Fresh.
I don't see why he couldn't give him a speed boost.
Because I only heard his stamp. Well, let's just say, okay, he had to conserve his speed so he'd last longer. Like an Edo Tensei nerf, just kind of balance that out.
I mean, they were revived at almost their full power.
And then BC with Badara, it wasn't even close.
So, okay. You're gonna hate this as an argument. But what if Jubito wasn't aiming for Hiruzen's head and was all along aiming for his shoulder?
Well, that would be the funniest, maybe most consistent case, but
I mean, there's no proof he was aiming for his head.
Aside from the way it looked.
Exactly, yeah. Besides that. I mean, maybe he just wanted to, like, he just wanted to pull, like, an Onoki versus Mater. He just wanted to see if Hiruzen had a Hashirama head underneath that shirt or whatever. Yeah, never know.
Okay, but ignoring the Hiruzen thing, what do you think about the Sakura argument, then?
I think Sakura did surpass Tsunade. I feel like that's the point of the new Sannin, because it's the new generation. At the very least,
but they have Sakura and Tsunade doing the exact same thing, equal split power.
Then, okay, I would argue that they caught up at the very least to the peak Sannin rather than the current Sannin.
So what is the peak Sannin?
Whatever version you want it to be. The version that's relative. No, I have the perfect answer. The version that's relative to Prime Hiruzen.
So
there you go.
The Sannin were stronger than Hashirama. But like,
it almost makes it more consistent that way.
But then you have to ask, okay, is the Prime Sannin the Hanzo fight Sannin?
I mean,
that's the only young Sannin we have.
Because the problem with that is that all three of the Sannin don't have their upgraded forms at the time, Sage Mode, and
we don't know for sure when it comes to, like, for example, Jiraiya, but we know Tsunade. Orochimaru,
only makes sense.
You could say it's a retcon, but Orochimaru in the Search for Tsunade arc had never seen her mitotic regeneration. So she got that after he left. So, and then we would assume all the Sannin should get their things probably similar times. Orochimaru's Hydra, nobody knows how this actually works. It does not explain. Just happened to use once, never talked about it again. So, we don't really know.
I mean,
he got that exactly.
To be fair, Tsunade could have had Tsunade could have had the Byakugo seal, but just never used it. In the same way that Naruto had the Nine Tails, but Sasuke had never seen it until Konoha Crush.
Okay, that's fair, but then that could apply to Jiraiya's Sage Mode and everything they always had. It just didn't use it.
Yeah, but I don't think having Sage Mode would give your base an amp.
Well, I agree. And the problem is, though, if Jiraiya used Sage Mode against Hanzo, I just feel like Tsunade would have used her. I don't think they would just have Jiraiya be stronger than Tsunade. So.
Okay.
So I would say they probably didn't use it. But if that's the case, well, what is Prime Sannin? Well, it should be Sage Jiraiya, Byakugo Seal Tsunade, and Hydra Orochimaru. Whenever they're at their peak of using that, nobody knows when Orochimaru got the Hydra, but
Okay, you know what? No, I got a good way.
No,
Okay,
actually,
I know.
I'm sorry. No, bro. Hydra Orochimaru. Okay, Yada Mirror Totsuka Blade just bullshit at that fight.
That's what I was gonna
is
say.
stronger than
That's what I was gonna say.
Aoda.
Okay, that's what I was gonna
That
say.
not the new Sani. They were not new Sani level. They ain't doing shit. The Hydra's spawning all three together.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is that because we agree on that, we're gonna have Orochimaru, aka the Prime Sannin, relative to Itachi. I think that works because
I think he should have been.
yeah, well that should work though because Sasuke in the War Arc is supposed to be relative to Itachi, and then relative to Naruto.
Yeah, and then Itachi and Jiraiya are supposed to be, equal to each other. I think Orochimaru was just being dumb, bad matchup for Itachi. That's all it was, mismatched.
Yeah. Because otherwise, it just doesn't make sense for the most obvious scaling of all time. I know that they didn't use their Ultra forms or whatever, but Jiraiya and Orochimaru aren't beating the Four Tails, and then the Six Tails loses to Pain, and then Naruto's beating Nagato, who's stronger than Pain.
Well, Naruto did not.
I know.
Nagato.
That's you get my
Itachi
point
did.
though. You get my point though. It's like it just doesn't work.
But there you go. Itachi's beating. I know Nagato technically doesn't have his legs, but Itachi's beating Nagato.
Yeah, like I personally have Sage mode below KCM1 in terms of forms. Regardless if you think it's lower or relative, whatever. KCM2 is above KCM1. That's what Naruto has at this point in time.
Yeah.
So should be above Sage mode. So that should be above Six Tails Naruto. Which would be consistent with the Chakra arc. And guess what? Six Tails Naruto is above Four Tails Naruto, which beat the base Sannin. So, KCM2 Naruto is probably stronger than that.
Technically, didn't really beat Orochimaru, and Orochimaru also didn't have a jutsu.
Okay. I mean, whatever. I mean, it did beat
It would
Jiraiya.
have outlasted Orochimaru, but
Yeah. I mean, it's just Orochimaru retreated. So if you want to count that as a not loss, fine, I guess.
he technically retreated, but he also technically didn't, because he technically just sent Naruto out of the battlefield and then said, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. Orochimaru just did the same thing against Tsunade, and I technically did the same thing against Hiruzen, but Hiruzen died, so... But I do think that's a reason why Kishimoto chose to have Orochimaru leave in the way he did, is because they're trying to parallel Tsunade to Hiruzen, because Tsunade is going to be the Hokage, just like Hiruzen was. And with the Will of Fire and all that, I feel like that's what they're going for. Obviously, Hiruzen's dead, Tsunade's not, so you could argue something there. On the same end, or the other end, I guess I should say, that arguably doesn't work for the exact same reason, but I don't know, they're just doing the same thing. Like, I don't know. If we wanted to move to the Sasuke Retrieval Arc and then end stream with that.
Yeah, probably, because I'm just eating and then I'll shower after that. So.
Okay. So, I don't know if you have any. I'll say two that I've never said before. So one's more of a specific narrative argument. The other is just like a sort of generally probably kind of arguably applies to the arc itself, but it's probably less of a strong argument. So I'll start with that one. So I'll start with the weaker of the two quote-unquote narrative arguments, and there are two different types of narrative arguments. So the first one, the weaker one, I think that the sound for their individual fights with the Sasuke Retrieval team is disconnected, for the most part, from the rest of the arc, outside of the plot. Like, the story of all four of their fights doesn't have anything to do with the arc or Naruto and Sasuke's final fight.
I disagree with that. Well, I can make a case for all of them.
Okay.
Because
and
the
outside of
important thing would have to do with bonds. And so, Choji versus Jirobo. What's the point? Choji's bond with Shikamaru specifically, but the whole team. Like Neji versus Kidomaru. This will be one of the weaker ones, but essentially Neji's bond with Naruto in that sense, like how Naruto changed him, how that's influenced Neji there, that's one of the weaker ones. Kiba and Akamaru, I don't have to explain Kiba and Akamaru's bond.
Shikamaru versus Tamari is another one of the weaker ones, but it's essentially Shikamaru's bond with the team as a leader. It's specifically it's a weaker one, but it's there.
I'll give you that.
Honestly, I think Naruto, Sasuke, Kimura, those ones are pretty obvious.
That's a good
So I would
explanation.
say the
Honestly,
main
I do
thing is
like
the
that.
bond aspect, which you can apply to all of them. Some more obviously than others.
I do like that. No, that is really good. The Shikamaru one comes after the Naruto and Sasuke fight through Tamari and Asuma, more or less. It's still there before that, but still. The rest are a little bit more obvious.
I wanted to do a video about this concept with
That
each
is
and
good.
every arc.
Yeah,
So I had this one already thought out, as well as
I do like that.
the Itachi Pursuit arc. So two random ones that I had like the ideas for.
Bonds is really good. At that point, I think you should argue that you don't really need to argue it because it's looking at the Sasuke Retrieval team rather than the fight or the antagonists themselves. But obviously, as we were saying previously, Jirobo's the best for Choji because he's very obviously accentuating that in Choji's bond with the others. The others don't do that as well.
So this is where Neji's gonna be the weakest because I'm gonna skip over him. Sakon and Ukon.
Actually, that's probably an explanation.
Sabotage Kiba's bond, and they're commenting on things relating to how Kiba treats his dog, and then they have their conversing dynamic with each other. Like, for example, when Akamaru protects Kiba and pees on Sakon, Ukon used Sakon as a shield. This is a little dynamic there that they're doing.
That's good.
Tayuya is calling out Shikamaru for being a bad leader, essentially. So that's addressing Shikamaru's bond in this case is his role as leader, but she's addressing that. The weakest one's gonna be Neji and Kidomaru because Kidomaru isn't calling out Neji's bond with Naruto or anything. It's more like that's the most personal one. So yes, Neji's reason for not losing is the things with Naruto. Kidomaru's not really relating that. It's just like, I'm gonna beat you, you're the strongest of the group, I'm the strongest of the group, we're fighting, you know. It's like, so that's gonna be the weakest one in this regard.
For the others, it's more necessary to explain it because we haven't really seen much with Shikamaru, Kiba, or Choji outside of this. Naruto and Neji, we already understand the context based on the previous arc, so we don't really need the explanation here. Plus, also, even if you don't want to say that, I would just argue the Naruto, your eyes are even better than mine. It's literally all you need there. That's all you need.
Exactly. Again, it's not Kidomaru instigating it the way Jirobo is directly instigating it, but you have.
But again, that's fine because the focus isn't on them. They would just accentuate the focus, which would be the Sasuke.
Exactly.
Yeah. But what I will say is for Kiba, that might be part of the reason why I didn't really like the fight or consider it based on that regard. Because if the focus is on bonds, like you're saying, then yeah, Choji's connection to the rest of the team, Neji's connection to Naruto, aka the rest of the team, Shikamaru, the team leader, connection to the rest of the team. Kiba, it's more about his bond with Akamaru than the rest of the team.
Yeah, it is entirely about that.
Exactly. So that might be part of it. And like you're saying with the shielding idea, yeah, plus the fact that this might be intentional. Think about it. The fact that Kiba and Sakura and Ukon are blown off the cliff away from everyone else. They don't even choose. They're literally physically separated. Yeah, separated from the rest of the plot and arc and all that. That could be like visually something that they're doing in a very interesting kind of way. That's a little bit of a reach.
Just why do they do it that way? But
well, if their bond thing is a little bit isolated, then that would make sense for narrative why they do it.
Yeah.
It's like isolating them physically, isolated them narratively, but still connected to the arc in both physical and narrative. That being said, that's very interesting. I do like that. Dang. But you could still. I'll also add. The reason that matters beyond bonds, the reason it matters to the actual story itself, especially Naruto and Sasuke, Naruto carries all that with him, and it makes it all the more impactful when he approaches Sasuke at the Final Valley at the very beginning, and he's like, do you know what my teammates went
Everyone
through?
gave their life for you. It's about the bond of what they did, and Sasuke didn't care.
Well, isn't that nice of them?
I know, dude, the dub line is the best. I don't like any other version. Wasn't that nice of them? That is the best version.
Exactly, I love it. Yeah, so I think that definitely really works. The same with the thing with Sakura, the promise of lifetime, so it all just connects together. Because we know how important it is honestly, to those characters.
I mean, it's mostly with Gaara when they're doing it. But his bond with Orochimaru, and Gaara thoughts on all of it. He
Yeah.
talks to Lee about it afterwards. So they're directly, and Gaara basically says, he literally has a conversation with Lee about bonds. It's that, a bond, even with that of an evil person, is preferable to loneliness. He's just commenting. They're clearly telling you something, that bonds are important.
Yeah. So, okay, I did have one more. Did you want to say yours before I say my last one, or do you want me to just say both of mine?
Hey, go ahead and say yours, because I don't even know what you're referring to. So,
okay, I did say I have like two answers here. I was going to start with the weaker argument and end on the stronger argument. I don't know if this is a stronger argument. It's just different. For the weakest narrative aspect of this arc, the thing that holds the Sasuke Retrieval Arc back.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't know what we're talking about.
Okay, yeah. So, okay. You might laugh and think it's ridiculous, but I'm going to hope I have a point here. So, going back to what Rudo was saying about the Shinobi system, ooh. So, I feel like that...
They're going to say Sakura being useless.
No. That was Archduke anyways, but... So, the headband is a huge important aspect here, and we meme the line, but it's like the only thing of its significance in regards to the headband. The headband, it's a testament to being a leaf shinobi. I feel like the importance of the headband to Naruto and the headband to the village, what it represents, what it means, the icon behind it, symbolism behind it, that could be a little bit more prominent and important in the arc itself. Obviously, the forehead scratch and all that is fine the way it is, but I feel like with regards to the importance of the shinobi system, especially to Shippuden, but even to as it was in Naruto, they could have emphasized what the headband means. Not that it's unclear or confusing in any regard, but that they could have made it more impactful by drawing more to it.
Yeah, because the reason I say that is because, honestly speaking, it seems like the headband only matters to Naruto. Every step of the way, he's the one who cares. He's the one who's begging for it in Chapter 1. He's the one who's making the big deal with it in the Land of Waves arc with the Oath of Pain and Zabuza and all that. And then he's the one saying the Testament of a Leaf Shinobi thing. He's the one who's like, Sasuke just doesn't care at the time. Like, you can't scratch my forehead. Like, it seems like Naruto's really the one who cares. He's the one who's upset about the whole headband thing. Nobody else really cares. How about they don't wear it on their forehead?
That does give me a good idea for a rewrite. Since we're already saying practically
more headband related things, throughout.
Yeah, but I actually do like what you said there about Naruto episode 1. He's begging for the headband. I feel like we should have got a flashback to that with Naruto here. Likewise, we're already getting flashbacks like all of the rest of the Sasuke Retrieval team when they're being pushed. I'm not going to say the flashback
on that first point, not just Chapter 1. Have a quick, this works really well in the anime because they do stuff like this where there's 10 flashbacks in a row. Like in the Land of Waves when Sasuke dies, they do 10 flashbacks of Naruto Sasuke moments. In this case, you do the same thing, but it's Naruto with the headband. So begging for the headband, Iruka giving it to him, Naruto grabbing the headband against Zabuza, Naruto, every other headband scene leading up to this, basically.
I like that, yeah.
You do that sort of thing.
I agree. So for the Sasuke Retrieval Squad, when they're fighting the Sound 4, each of them have a flashback or whatever, about whatever. I'm not going to say the flashback should be about it, but I feel like in their flashback should be when they first become a shinobi, and that can be symbolized, represented, through them getting their headbands.
Well,
that
could be cool, but the other thing I was going to mention is actually, Kiba, I think it's only Neji and Choji. This is just obvious that they were gonna die. I think Neji and Choji are the only ones who lose their headband when they quote unquote die.
Yeah,
whereas the others don't.
I was gonna say that. So, yeah,
I was gonna because my answer was gonna be because I don't really have a good one. It's just gonna be Neji and Choji. Arguably, should have just died. I would say it holds the story back, but that might be the only one because especially when they're doing stuff like that, but.
Yeah. So, okay, this is stupid. They shouldn't have done this because of how goofy, ridiculous, over the top it is. But just to really drive the point home, instead of randomly a stupid piece of Neji's hair being used to do surgery on him, it should have been the headband. It could have been cool. Oh my gosh. No, but I think it could have been like really, really like sweet, charming, and all the more tragic to see them get the headband and what the headband not only means in general to all of them collectively, but what it means to them individually, uniquely, special to them. We already know for Naruto. For Choji, it could be like a representation. He finally found a friend in Shikamaru, and now they can be ninjas together. For Kiba, I don't know, maybe he's like, I don't know what they would do, but like I could just imagine a cute scene of him being like, "Look, Akamaru, I got it." He's like putting it on Akamaru to see what it looks like on him.
Kiba doesn't wear his like in a forehead or anywhere where obvious anyway. What I want for Kiba is, so there's only one headband. Akamaru doesn't have one. He gives it to Akamaru, so Akamaru wears Kiba's headband. No, that was like his gift to Akamaru, basically, for being, being his best
I know
bud.
I know the Kiba one.
There.
I know the Kiba one. Okay. Instead of Kiba leaving his jacket behind for his scent, he's gonna leave his headband. That's a good one.
And Sakon wears it.
Yeah. So maybe even like when Akamaru's like dying or whatever, Akamaru can go to like fetch the headband, and he's like holding it in his mouth as he's like dying on Kiba's lap. That's a good visual cue right there.
Goes to bring it to Kiba.
Yeah. He's so sad.
I mean, again, this doesn't hold the narrative of the story back, but like, Sakura and Kiba, that's just not a thing. Why are they the ones doing that?
Oh, okay, another one. Maybe when
have a dynamic with Sakon and Ukon that really makes sense either.
Maybe when maybe when Sasuke chops Sakura's neck, her headband comes undone at the exact same time.
Oh, that could be interesting.
Yeah. Like Sasuke's doing that. I think that'd be totally cool. For Shikamaru, what would you do for his headband flashback or whatever? Because being a ninja is a drag, but he doesn't want to get left behind.
It ties back, so when he gets the headband, he's making his whatever lazy, what a drag comment, like, oh, what a drag, that stupid headband or something. And then now, though, he's like not being lazy as team leader, at least he's he's trying to like do something inspirational as leader, so showing his change basically.
Yeah. See, what I was gonna say is maybe he gets it and he's like, oh, this thing, I don't even want to be a ninja. He goes to like put it in the trash, and then he sees Choji and he just like smirks and he puts his headband on and walks away from the trash can. Something like it'd be cool.
That's funny.
Yeah, but like Shikamaru's whole thing, he knows what's right. He just doesn't want to do the right thing, even though he knows he has to. That's the thing with the Chunin exams, is that, oh man, Naruto won. Oh, he's gonna show me up now. Oh, all this month of hard work that I didn't want to do. Oh, now I have to go fight Tamari and do it good. And it's like all these things. It's like he knows he needs to be strong. He just doesn't want
to. It's the same thing with the little delay tactic in the Konoha Crush arc, where it's like, he doesn't want to be the guy, but he knows he has to do it.
Exactly. Like, I think he would prefer if Naruto and nobody else got strong, because that way he wouldn't feel the need to do it. But at the same time, he knows that shouldn't be the case, and Naruto and the rest should grow strong, so he needs to grow stronger than them as well. Like, he knows what's right. But yeah, I always like that about his character. But either way,
I know Shikamaru is cool.
Yeah. The only third thing I'll say on this is, if you want to technically, just a very small thing. At the beginning of the arc, when Sasuke thinks, "Oh man, Naruto beat Gaara. Itachi was after him." BBB. I always hated the fact that he just doesn't mention the fact that Naruto beat Haku, considering in the Land of Waves, they're like making a point of Sasuke noticing that.
He beat Neji. The guy, gosh, he said I couldn't be.
Exactly. Like, he's just leaving out Haku for no reason, bro. Like, why did you forget Sasuke?
Bro, in the anime, it's worse. He's included Aoi Roka show.
I know. It's like, oh my god, bro. They probably also could have mentioned the fact that Naruto fought Orochimaru in the Forest of Death, where Sasuke didn't want to at first. They don't have to do that. But Haku, they should have 100%.
Naruto saying, "You scaredy cat," could be cool. Just that moment.
Yeah. Maybe even Sasuke could have had a line or something like, ever since that day, you've thought you've been so much better than me, or something. I don't know. Referencing the Haku time.
Could be cool.
Oh,
That could be cool, especially as a callback. Well, not really a callback, but it's reverse callback. It's a rewriting, but it feels like the over and over again by the way you said that.
Yeah, exactly. Going back to my first complaint of it being disconnected, I agree with the bonds aspect. I wish it more directly played out to show maybe not how this arc was going to go in terms of like narrative foreshadowing or anything, but like different aspects of how it can relate to the Naruto and Sasuke fight itself. I don't know how they would do it, but we know it's important to them, but it's like once the Naruto Sasuke fight begins, the rest of the arc is almost thrown out the window. It's not irrelevant during the fight, but like I'm not saying that's a bad thing that they're focusing on the fight, but it does make the rest of the arc feel a little bit not disconnected or unimportant, but during this section of the story, almost irrelevant, I suppose.
But because we assume the reason you're saying it is because they already addressed the hey, everyone gave their lives, so wasn't that nice of them? But you could argue it's not irrelevant though, because that's why they're not there in the first place. That's why it is a 1v1.
That's true.
That's why it's not just Shikamaru and Naruto tag teaming destroying Sasuke.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. That's fair. I'll give you that. Okay. So that's all of mine for Sasuke Retrieval. What is yours?
So the problem is,
The favorite arc.
do you think we can make an argument that Neji and Choji not dying holds the arc back? So I could definitely say it strengthens Shikamaru's, and it's like, I didn't just get my team hurt. I caused the death of two of them. Because those are the two he let stay behind versus Kiba and Naruto, that just happened randomly. Naruto and that's a little bit different. But the Kiba, Neji and Choji be like, no, I told them, yeah, do what you want. So he could really blame himself there because they would just be dead. And it's specifically those two, the ones he did that to. So that would work well narratively there. Especially since they're not really doing a whole lot of them. So I would argue that technically just does hold it back.
Yeah, you can only make the argument either way.
Neji, which is similar idea to the Arc one. I know he doesn't directly save Naruto, but he's doing something for Naruto. And everything he does there in terms of destiny is because of Naruto. So it's really the same thing, technically. It's earlier. So that would be, you're not losing anything, really. Because it's not like the Naruto Hinata thing actually has anything to do with Neji. So the only thing it's doing is just the Obito part. I agree, you do lose that, but you're gaining stuff otherwise. So in terms of the Sasuke Retrieval Arc on its own, though, I would say, yeah, I guess it technically does hold it back.
Interesting. I think Choji, you could make the argument either way.
I don't think it holds it. It really only holds it back from the Shikamaru perspective because it doesn't if Choji survives versus dies. It doesn't really change Choji other than it's he gave his life for his friends, but he didn't really give his life. But he meant to give his life. Same with Neji, they meant to give their lives, they just didn't. So it's kind of it's similar to my guy. It's they earned their survival, but. Arguably, they should have died anyway. That would probably be more meaningful, but they earned it, But I'm just gonna go with those because the only other stuff, it's I wanted more from Sakon and Ugon's fight. It's not holding it back there.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a strength and a weakness to both Choji and Neji dying or surviving. We've talked about all of this before, so we don't have to rehash it. We talked about it in previous streams. What I will say, I think it's... I don't think it holds it... Obviously, it's both, but I don't think for this regard it's holding it back, because in the death scene itself, the audience thinks they're dead, and later on, I don't think being revealed that they're alive takes away from either the Neji or Choji death scene or their character itself. Yeah, I think the only thing it does is it adds to Shikamaru's character because it's so impactful, and he says, "Next time, it'll go perfectly," as he's crying to Asuma and Tamari.
Yeah, exactly. I think it adds to Shikamaru's character. That's really the thing, more than anything.
Yeah, but you could argue that it could arguably be even more impactful if he says, "Next time it'll go perfectly," knowing that his friends died, so it didn't go perfectly this time. So
exactly. But I also say that if they're gonna survive and you're gonna do the next time it'll go better, I feel like that can only work if they have a next time.
Exactly. Well, okay, to be fair, I hold that against Shippuden. I was going to say the same thing. I hold that against Shippuden. You can't hold that against this arc. This arc, doing that is better because it's better setup, even if it's set up for something that we never got.
And I agree there, but the problem is it's hard to, because especially knowing that we don't get that same team, well, if they die, then it removes the need for the same team. Because yes, he could have Naruto and Kiba, but at that point, it's not about the same team anymore. It's just about him being the leader, and all you need is him to lead one mission, which I guess he technically does in the Hidan and Kakuzu arc. And I know Choji's gonna be dead in this rewrite, but he goes with Kakashi to fight Kakuzu and Hidan with Ino and whoever else is gonna replace Choji in this case. And he leads the team and it works out. Nobody dies. So that would be his next time, basically.
Yeah.
Count it.
I mean, it's not like there's no consequences of this arc.
But again, it's like if they're gonna survive and he does the next time, you just gotta have the other thing. But again, the next time it'll go better works both ways. It works almost equal whether they survive or not. I'd almost argue it works better if they die. It's like, not only it's like next time will go better. Like it needs to go better. There's no we got lucky. It's just we did not get lucky. Like next time will go better. I have to make it better. And then the only way it works better if they survive is if they pay it off by redoing that team, but they don't. So given that, it's like you just have to go with they die. I feel like.
And even that, you could argue that would even help the headband Shinobi importance system thing even more if they're dying. that sort of proves the point.
And they're the only two who lose their headband. Like
exactly, yeah. So, okay, if we had to choose one or the other, I think for a lot of different reasons, we would choose Choji to be the one who stays dead instead of Neji, for a lot of reasons. Would you agree with that?
I agree,
you had to choose
because... But I partially disagree, but I also agree, because I can make arguments for both. So Choji's works really well.
First of all, Choji's...
Especially for Shikamaru specifically, because... the one who dies is Shikamaru's best friend. So that works really well for Shikamaru.
So just
Choji
physically...
also took the red pill that kills
physically, he should do that. Yeah, it's like the 8 gates. Yeah, I know that guy lived, but he was going to die. Choji just somehow miraculously just didn't die. You could argue the healing people.
There was no Naruto Jesus power to stop that. Yeah. They just fixed them somehow later on.
Yeah, let's also just ignore the fact that...
But like, he survived stab wounds, essentially. Okay, it's not he did the jutsu that kills you type situation. He didn't survive the Reaper Death Seal here.
Yeah, the medic also just didn't show up immediately. Choji was just sitting there, I guess unconscious for like an hour or a couple hours before the medic team got there. So it's not like immediate care or anything.
Like how slow does the red pill kill you?
Oh my god. Like, he just wasn't gonna die. He's just gonna wake up. If the medic team didn't come around, Choji was gonna catch back up to him.
And then the other aspect is, unlike every other character here, Choji gets the big power-up that stomps his opponent. Like, Neji is like it's like Shino versus Kogoro.
Yeah.
It's a tie. He narratively wins, but he tied. They both died, Yeah. Choji, Naruto obviously gets his power-up, so Sasuke's balancing it out. Shikamaru, first, he's going to lose to Tayuya, but it's like those even battles. Choji takes the red pill, gets the monster's power-up, and just bodies Jiroba. Like, he has that unique one to where, like, he gave his life for that. And he gets the big body win that nobody else gets. So, like, again, it's like, if you're going to pick one, pick him. Now,
even
to make arguments...
Well, real quick, even physically... Now, I want to say on Choji real quick. For Choji, not only does the butterfly mode literally look like angel wings, but he's the only one that's really devastating his opponent with this sheer overpowering force of the red peel.
I was just getting at, yeah.
So, and like he said, it should come with the cost of his life. He's like literally saying it's all of my life in this fist. That kills Jiroba. Yeah. That should be what kills him.
There's having dialogue like that.
Exactly.
There's Choji's dying in a lot more ways than even Neji.
Yeah, but also the fact that obviously Choji's a lot more close to Shikamaru than Neji was, so it's just going to impact him a lot more.
Shikamaru's character, yeah.
Yeah, so it just works way better. Especially,
makes more sense.
arguably, just makes Choji's death and backstory even more impactful because it's Shikamaru who knows, rather than it's the other way around. Doesn't really increase.
Also,
Neji's death.
speaking of symbolism, Shikamaru sees the butterfly.
Exactly.
Clearly dead.
like, imagine if Naruto just feels Jiraiya's hand on his shoulder, and then next chapter is revealed he reverse summoning back to the Leaf Village, and he's fine. It's like, what do you mean?
Exactly. That makes sense. And then we've also done the Choji rewrite show, where it's like the best rewrite of all time. It was just pure perfect. There was no flaws. It was only better.
Also, the fact that Choji just doesn't die in Shippuden, whereas Neji does, so that's just a reason to keep him alive, but not Choji. And like you say, the Choji rewrite, that's a reason to kill him.
Also, we could have had the Choji Edo Tensei thing that we've discussed before.
Exactly. Yes.
But.
And
Neji is
just okay, not a reason for Choji, but a reason against Neji. If we are just gonna go with Neji's goal is just to never lose ever again after the Chunin exams, then I guess you could go with that. This is gonna
be hilarious. Okay, say your thing, and you're gonna die laughing when I'll just skip to my first point as being a certain thing.
Well, okay. I'm gonna guess your thing is that since Neji's goal is to never lose again, you're gonna say it's gonna be like Attack on Titan spoilers. It's gonna be like Aaron's goal. He's gonna kill all the Titans, but in the end, he died before killing a single one of them. So Neji's goal is to never lose a fight again. He loses the very next fight.
Okay, that's funny. That's the exact opposite. So I'll just say it. So Neji's goal is to never lose again. So he technically wins. So actually, I have another caveat with this, but he technically wins. And then he never fights again. He never loses again. Or okay, he didn't lose. Oh, he didn't win. Okay, Neji tied. He didn't lose. Never loses again.
There you go.
he succeeds. I was actually going to point out, this removes the Zetsu bullshit or the Kisame fight bullshit, where he just is losing.
Hey, yeah.
He also lost to himself.
Yeah.
He beat himself.
I mean, I'll also add one more thing for Choji over Neji dying here is the fact that Choji's backstory, I think, just works better for his death than Neji in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just more impactful for the team, for his whole death in general. I feel like it's just way more impactful.
If you have to pick one, you'd have to pick Choji.
This whole friend
thing is really a non-narrative point, but it's kind of tragic if the genius, strongest one of the group is the only one who actually died. But he died being the only one who just straight up beat his opponent.
But I also think the other way around is also more tragically sad, because in a way, the Sound 4 was right. Choji's the only loser. He is the underrated one. He's the underdog. You know why? Because he's the only one who died.
And he's the only one who destroyed his opponent in the process. It'd also be really cool, though, if they have a scene of them, so they see Choji's body, and then they look at Jirobo's, and imagine Shikamaru, he sees Choji's dead, and then he's sad. Then he looks at Jirobo, and he's like, Choji, you animal. He's not gonna say it like this, but it's like, my boy Choji, you did it. You you wrecked that bastard. He's just Jirobo just destroyed. His face is gone, everything. It's just like, you may have died, Choji, but you obliterated him like you promised.
Yeah, Asuma looks over at him like, Shikamaru, are you okay? He looks over at Choji. There are no drags. Last thing I'll say on Choji over Neji for dying. I feel like Choji's death would impact the Sasuke Retrieval team, as well as the feeling behind the story and the team of this arc. Because again, like we were saying, Neji's whole bond aspect is a little bit more isolated, whereas that's Choji's whole point, is that he's friends with the whole rest of the team, and the whole rest of the team is counting on him and trusting him.
With everyone.
Yeah, the whole rest of the team is counting on and trusting Neji too, but for Choji, it's more personal.
Yeah, because the bond was the important thing for him. Neji, it's about the destiny, how it changed him, rather than the fact that he finally made friends.
Exactly.
And those friends are what gave Choji the strength to do what he did.
Yeah. Now, before moving on to Neji, that's not to say that one of these two should have or needed to die, because there is still an overwhelming loss in this arc. Not only just the fact that they just failed the mission, but the fact that failing the mission means they lose Sasuke, which has not only huge ramifications for the story, but for Naruto's character as well as his dynamic with not only Sakura, but just really all of Team 7 for obvious reasons. But yeah. Yeah, I just want to say that. But okay, reasons for Neji should have died.
I feel like I gave my bullshit reasons already. So
Okay.
do you want to speed run yours? Because I'm looking at the time now, and I don't have time.
I mean, it would just make the destiny aspect a lot more tragic. That's really all I had to say for that, I guess. All the reasons you said. Yep.
You
All
really
right.
chose it.
Well, regardless if Ikimoto failed, I think this has only proved Kishimoto didn't. Kishimoto succeeded as the outro for this stream.
It's grasping at straws about a narrative flaw.
Yeah, I mean, we try. You know, I will give us credit. We did list the one and only flaw of Naruto. It's Naruto's reaction to Hiruzen's prelim speech. It's the only flaw in Naruto.
Yeah, that narrative flaw.
It's the most nothing thing of all time, too. Just blink and you miss it. It's like one sentence. It's literally a gag.
Because it doesn't change anything. It wasn't important that Naruto or that.
But we found it. The biggest flaw in Naruto.
I agree with it. Because it's not like it wasn't like the point that Naruto agrees. And that ruins the arc. It just agrees.
He just
and
did.
It had nothing to do with it.
It just wasn't thought about.
Kishimoto just wasn't thinking.
It was just like filler, just to break up Hiruzen's speech with something in the middle. Just give the audience a break.
It's anime only.
I have to double check. That'd be so funny if it was. I'd be crying if it was. Oh my god, it might be.
I'm gonna double check. There's no way it is, but
please
this will be the
double
last
check.
thing I do.
Please, it's so good. Oh my gosh, bro. Okay. If it's anime only, we have to officially declare right now, even though it goes against the entire point of what this entire stream was meant to be, Naruto is perfect. It's a series. There's no flaws. Not a single flaw.
Let's see. Lord no Kage's message. That's gotta be the. Oh, this cover of Sakura is pretty cool. It's Lord of Kage's message. Oh yeah, it's not the one. That's the scrolls. Okay. Here's and give your speech.
I guess I'll
Oh my
reach out.
god, it is anime only because all he says is, "Now I get it."
Oh my
I mean, they're
god.
just smiling, but like, what if he's just happy that he gets it? That's all it is.
He's happy because he's tuning it out. He's just happy to make it through the forest of death. No, realistically, no. Is this before
the written exams? I haven't a clue what's going on here, but I'll act like I do.
Exactly.
And he says this out loud. So what if he's just doing? Yeah, actually, in character, he's probably just doing that shit again.
No, okay. Actually, I do have a reason for him to be smiling. Is this before or after the Sasuke line? I want to fight you the most.
Probably before, because Hayate shows up after, and I imagine that's when Sakura's advice. Yeah, so
Okay. I was gonna say if the Sasuke scene is before, that'd be a reason. Now that'd be the perfect reason for Naruto to be smiling too.
It's just happy that Sasuke got to fight him.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, so Naruto's a perfect series. I think we just agree. Goes against the point of what we were trying to do. So we tried. Okay, we can end it there.
Okay. All right.